Please don't spoil the movie
by adding your own soundtrack. Hello. Welcome back. Party hardy.
What's your name? Let's hear it.
Hi, my name is Sister Mary Clarence.
Oh, okay. And my name is Monica Geller.
Monica. Friends? Monica.
Oh, look at you. I was like, she's never going to get it.
That's the only Monica I know.
Oh,
You watch Friends?
Not really.
No.
I just Googled famous female characters.
Which one's Monica?
The black-haired one.
Oh,
the one that's not Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, right. Or Phoebe. I know Phoebe.
Oh, yeah, Phoebe.
All right. And welcome back to...
Please.
Excuse me. Welcome back to Please Don't Spoil the Movie. A podcast brought to you by sisters.
Make sure to like, comment.
Yes.
Subscribe. Review.
Yes. Tell your friends.
All those fun things.
Tell your friends. Share it to your friends. Make your friends listen to it. Just lock them in a room and just press play.
Torture them.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? What's happening with you?
Nothing crazy. Work. I see you in the movies. Me and Mom finally caught up on season 1 and 3 of Truth Be Told.
What about 2?
Well, we watched it. Well, we watched season 3 first, and then we went back to season 1. What? So now we're on season 2.
What the hell?
I know, but it was so good. I really like it.
Does the characters change every season or something?
Kind of. Or the murder she covers changes.
It's different. Okay.
Yeah, and then some of the characters change.
Interesting.
Some repeating, some leave.
I can't believe you watched it out of order like
I
that.
know. I only did it because, each episode is about a different thing. And I didn't think it was pertinent to see the season before to understand this season.
Okay.
But yeah. Anything crazy in your life?
No. It's that time of year again, preparing for tryouts. They're about 2 weeks away. My kneecaps and legs are shattered at this point.
It's a terrible word to use.
My limbs are very tired.
Getting old.
Yes.
Up there in age, man. Can't be flipping like you used to.
Every time I tumble, I'm like, ugh.
You need to take some, I don't know, bone something to get your bones strong or something.
Maybe. Because they're giving out.
Oh, Jesus.
They're giving out, baby.
The ripe age of 28. 27?
The ripe old age of 27.
I'm 28. Maybe 28 soon.
Yeah. Don't remind me.
I know. That's so funny. It's okay. It's okay. You're giving 21.
Thank you. Remember, everyone. Youth is fleeting.
Yes. And age is nothing but a number sometimes. And not in a rapey way, but,
Aside from, what's the show called?
Truth Be Told.
Oh. Have you watched anything else?
I feel like I did watch something. I'm trying to catch up on Vanderpump Rules.
Oh, good for you. I haven't gotten there yet.
Same old.
Maybe I'll do that over I have 2 days off for spring break, so maybe I'll do that for those 2 days. I probably won't.
I mean, it's really hard to, it wasn't for this recent drama, I wouldn't be watching it, so it's kind of hard to watch, but I kind of just put it on the background and just do other stuff.
Right. Is it boring?
It's just stuff I don't care about anymore. It's Tom.
The OGs. There's no Stassi, there's no Kristen, there's no Jax. What are we really here for?
It's literally Tom and Tom talking about their stupid freaking restaurant. It's Tom and Katie still arguing the same fight. I'm like, girl, you divorced him. Leave him alone. He does not like you. He's the worst person ever. Yeah. Leave it alone. Bye.
I'm surprised they still communicate the way they do.
Yeah, they communicate like they used to.
Like they're literally, just like, I feel like once you divorce somebody, it's like, okay, we're done here. That's like they're like going to dinner.
Well, they work together.
Vanderpump
Rules, they work together. They kind of almost have to.
She still work at that restaurant?
No, but like Vanderpump Rules is their job.
The show, right.
I mean, I'm sure if they were on the same set, they wouldn't.
Situations would be different. But even like, I just feel like they're really trying to work on like being like friends and stuff, and I just think it's too soon.
I think it's because they will be seeing each other all the time. But yeah, it's annoying.
It is weird.
Yeah, and it's that part I'm just like over it.
Do you think they'll get back together?
Oh no! I'm surprised they even got married. I'm surprised they made it this long.
Yeah.
I saw like a flashback when he was talking to her crazy. I was like, dang, I
will never. And I mean, never forget that episode where they tried to Jax pranked Tom Sandoval
with the
with him getting
That's
arrested.
what I'm talking about.
Yes. And Katie
was upset.
I was so surprised. Yeah. But claps to her for being politically correct and was like, this isn't funny. And was like, I don't think this is amusing. And he was literally, he was her husband was literally gagging at her. And he was like, oh my God, I can't even look at you right now. You're disgusting. He said this and started gagging.
He said, this is why I don't have sex with you anymore.
He said that?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
In front of everybody.
Did you see, and there's like a video that I saw on Twitter of them having a conversation now, like on the current season. Mm-hmm. And then in like the confessional or the, whatever they call the interview, she was basically saying like, I think he loved me, but I don't think he ever really liked me. And I was like, girl, if that ain't the truth.
Yeah, he never. I'm still surprised they went to the altar. They've been arguing the same type of way since the beginning of the relationship. And it's not like they ever... It's just always been that. And he's never on her side. He never takes her side. Never. Not even just like not even say anything. Like she's wrong, let me just stay out of it. He never takes her side, and then he publicly doesn't take her side. It's like crazy. I don't know where Tom and Tom's future stands on the show. I'm curious to see if they will make it.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, because Tom Schwartz, who's going to hang out with him, and Tom Sandoval, honestly, he's with, this loser. And I feel like the only person who likes Tom Sandoval that much is Sheena. That's about it.
Sheena likes Tom Sandoval or Tom Schwartz?
Oh, Schwartz, I'm sorry. And everyone has Tom Sandoval. And Tom Schwartz, only connection right now is Sheena.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. I mean, but they're the OGs. If they leave, we have nobody left. Which is Sheena.
I'm fine for them doing one more season after this, and go ahead and wrap it up, guys.
I just feel like they need to, and I feel like that's kind of what they started doing, that like COVID season. Like I feel like they need to start making like the new, like bringing in new kids and making like a transition. But when that happened, all of those mother cluckers got fired too for being racist. So
right, the new people.
Yeah, like half of them got fired for being racist, so that died. Yeah. So it was just like
they cleaned house.
Yeah, it was just like work. They fired everybody.
Yeah, and I thought
which was good because I didn't like any of them.
I didn't like any.
They like all sucked. All the new people, I was like, I'm not into them. Except for what was her name, Billy. She had like a boy name. I liked her. She was like a Sheena mini me.
Billy was a trans one, I think.
Oh yeah, not Billy.
I know you're talking about though.
What was her name?
Not Darcy. I thought she was gonna make it, but she's still like doesn't seem like she's gonna be on this season. I was surprised to see her on this season, but I don't think she's gonna.
Right. They had a lot of people, and I was like, oh yeah, these people are gonna be like the new faces. And
I really liked her too. I liked her when she was like, when that boy told her what Sheena said about her. And she was like, why would you say that to me? Like, why would you betray her trust and tell me what she said in confidence? I was like, oh my God, a girl's girl. I was like, okay, Charlie. She was like,
No, I really liked her.
Don't be spreading the lie. Like, she told you that in confidence. Why are you telling me that?
And she had really good dry humor.
She did. And then she's really
like sarcastic.
Yes, she's not scared to go head to head with these people.
Yeah.
And she thinks what they do is BS. And that's what we need as a new person to step up. But I don't think she wants to even be on the show.
I seriously doubt that. I'm sure she wants to be on the show. Who wouldn't want to be on that show? Everybody in Los Angeles is a struggling actor.
I don't think she does. Because I think she would make more of an effort to be.
Nobody does not want to be on that show. If you work at Pump, Villa Blanca, or what's the other one? Sir. You want to be on Vanderpump Rules.
Yes, I don't know. She's not putting herself out there. I think
she probably is putting herself out there. They're not putting her on the cameras.
I don't know. She went on the trip with Katie, and I was like, okay, she's got Katie's friend, but yeah, I don't think we're gonna see her anymore.
Whatever. Moving on.
Anything
what
else exciting?
Is it my turn now?
For what? It's your turn for what?
I wish you could have seen your face. You're like, for what? You're like, what?
It's my turn.
You were talking about what you were binging. I want to talk about
what I'm binging. Yeah. I just didn't know. And I thought you meant like, let's dive in or like, let's go. I was like, okay, yes, it's your turn. Go for it.
Okay. Love is Blind. We're back.
Oh,
Season 4. We're back into it. Rocking and rolling. They didn't waste any time.
Oh my God.
Literally, I feel like the last season ended yesterday, and now it's tomorrow, and they have the new season out ready.
That's
ready and
so
prepared.
Funny. I can't believe you like that show.
Oh my God. It's so good. And this season, I didn't know how to feel at the beginning.
Yeah, everyone seemed like they hated it.
Or
they were comparing it to season 1.
It was just like a lot going on. None of the couples I enjoy, with the exception of one, and it's the black couple. They're definitely going to go the distance.
Love.
But everybody else is literally like cringy and disgusting. Either somebody in the relationship is just a piss poor person, or they're gross, unattractive, like a horrible human being. It's just like, ugh.
They're saying yes to be on the show.
And it's honestly been like a lot of entanglements. Like, one guy, it's like, I don't even know where to begin. Okay. Let me see. Let's see here. Okay, season 4, right? There are 5 couples, okay? There's this one guy, Kwame, African dude, horrible hairline.
We didn't have a Kwame last year?
No.
Oh.
Bartiz. Replica. Okay, so his name's Kwame, horrible hairline. Only a white woman would love him.
Oh, that guy.
He definitely seeks white validation. It's written all over his face. He literally started off with, when I was in high school, I couldn't even bring my girlfriend to prom. White girl. I was like, okay, I know what you're about already. then later he was like, I always feel like I have to like say what my degree is in, and like how much money I make, and like what I've done to feel like I'm qualified. I'm like, oh, so you seek white validation. Okay, obvious.
I'm seeing in between the lines.
Like, I'm reading in between the lines. Then he hits us with again. He's like, I'm scared to like say what my real name is in the event of like, being canceled out by some of the girls. So clearly you don't want...
What is this, a job interview?
Exactly. A job interview for him to date a white woman. And of course, the only people that he likes were these 2 blonde white girls. Shocker.
He felt that energy.
He can pinpoint a white woman behind a wall with ease. This one. So it ultimately is like talking to 2 white girls. One of them, he really, really likes, and the other one he likes. The girl that he really, really likes, what's her name? Micah. She ends up not picking him, right? She rejects him.
She picks someone else, or?
She picks somebody else. She goes with Paul. This dude from New Orleans. He's from New Orleans. Shout out to Paul. Real sweet guy, scientist, yada, yada, yada.
Okay, Paul.
Micah.
Sorry, I'm looking up their photos. Keep going.
Micah's best friend in the house.
Who the hell's Micah? Is that a boy or girl?
Literally keep up. I just told you. Kwame, the guy who seeks white validation. He has two picks. Megan, I think, is one.
Another person's name is Micah?
Yes. And then the other girl's name is Micah.
I just heard another girl with the name Micah the other day, and I was like, what is this name for girls? I don't like that name.
I don't like the name either. So Micah's the girl that he really, really likes. Micah decides not to date him. She goes with Paul, the dude from New Orleans. Okay?
I'm looking.
Then Micah's best friend in the house. What's her name? Irina? I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
Irina or something. She looks like Beans from Even Stevens.
I saw people talking about her.
She looks like a hybrid of Beans from Even Stevens and the Weasels from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Ouch.
A combination of the two. Horrible human being. Horrible, Jordan.
They have bad personalities.
Both of them.
Okay.
Both of them.
Irina and Micah.
Yes, horrible personalities. Irina is like the puppet master. No. Micah's like the puppet master, and then Irina's like her little flunky.
Her little minion.
She like follows behind her. The blonde, of course, is the leader to the brunette. Classic. So Micah sucks, but Irina sucks even harder. Horrible, just mean person.
Yeah.
People go into the room crying, and she's like laughing. She's like eating a cheeseburger, and like, ha 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 ha. I love watching you in misery. Okay?
Oh, perfect casting, I will say this.
So Irina is talking to Zach, right?
Okay.
This lawyer, attorney guy.
Good for him.
And Zach is torn between Irina and this girl, Bliss, right?
Zach? Okay. Zach looks like a criminal defense attorney. Oh my God. He looks like that job title.
I would like to say a lot of the girls on the show were like, Zach's a weirdo. Like, Zach's a creep. I love him. I think he's great. He's weird. He's quirky.
And he seems smart.
Right? And he makes very intense eye contact. I feel like that's why a lot of the girls don't like him. Well, like...
Yeah.
after they leave the pods, because in the pods, you know, they're behind a wall.
Yeah.
But like the girls, like they're like, he's weird. And I just think he gives off really strong eye contact, and it makes people uncomfortable.
So calm it down.
But anywho, so Zach is into Irina and Bliss, right? Bliss is like this really sweet girl. Like she matches his energy on an intellectual level. She's about his age, and then Irina's just this like 26-year-old bitch who is just here for shits and giggles.
She's here for the
Instagram.
She's here to be on the show, right?
Yeah.
Not to find love.
And like maybe to find love on the side, but like not really, right?
Okay.
So Bliss is basically articulating to Zach, hey, Irina's like a horrible person. If you pick her, it kind of shows your character. He's like, whoa. Guess who he picks?
Irina, Prince.
Freaking Irina! Freaking Irina!
Has it gone bad?
Of course! Of course it has gone horribly south for him.
Does he ever say, I should listen to Bliss? Is those words ever coming out of his mouth?
Literally on the honeymoon. So after they pick each other, they go on the honeymoon. Before the honeymoon ends, they're like, yeah, let's call this a quits. Both of them, they're like, yeah, this ain't it.
And he should have chose Bliss.
So he goes back, like once he returns.
Returns where?
To like where they live. This is set in Seattle. So this season they're in Seattle. So once he goes back home to Seattle, he calls up Bliss and is like, hey, can we meet up? He meets up with Bliss. Bliss is like, I mean, it's kind of like, you know, too late.
Yeah.
You know, right? But she agrees to like continue dating him, to like hang out.
So she's on the show?
So then he takes Bliss on this like boat ride, blah, 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 blah. He proposes to Bliss.
What?
She says yes.
What?
Now they're the ones getting married in like 2 weeks. Crazy.
Whoa.
Crazy.
Wait, okay, so the point of the honeymoon is to be married by the time you leave?
So they kind of move backwards. So they get engaged and then they go on like a honeymoon.
Oh, okay.
Then once they leave the honeymoon, they go back to reality. They live together for like 2-3 weeks. Then they have the wedding.
Oh, okay. So he proposed to her, so now they can live together.
Yeah. So he proposed to her. Now they moved in together, and now they're the ones that are about to get married.
Are they doing
in 2 weeks. They're doing great. That's who he should have picked in the beginning.
Is all the episodes out, or y'all are still waiting for them?
No, we haven't gotten to the wedding yet.
Okay, cool.
So that's them. All right. Now there's this black couple. We don't really need to talk about them because they're solid. So
okay, what's the guy's name? Quincy? No.
I don't know.
Marshall?
I don't know any of their names. Not Marshall.
Juan. He's got little braids. Josh.
No.
Up here.
That's him.
Brett and let's see.
And find a black girl and her age is 36.
I see 37. Tiffany. She's like
37. That's her. Yeah.
Okay,
37. Wow. On the show, she's 36. Anywho, so they're solid. They're rocking. Tiffany's a bit of an airhead. I don't really know. It's kind of annoying, but whatever. They're good. They'll make it. So that's them. So that's 3 couples so far. Then there's Jackie and Marshall. So Jackie, me and Mom were watching it last night.
She was like, what's wrong with her? What she said?
She was like, she's a hood rat. I was like, oh God.
Jackie?
Yeah, she was like, she's a little ghetto.
Jacqueline?
Yeah.
Little Spanish girl?
Yeah, she was like, she's ghetto. But she is. Like when she would talk, she wasn't using proper like grammar, and I was like, come on, like you're on TV. Like use grammatical errors. Recognize them. But anywho. So she's in the pods. The 2 guys she's vibing with is Josh and Marshall.
Okay.
Josh is like, it looks like in the past probably was like an MMA fighter. That's the guy who you said was Indian, but he's not Indian.
He's not, okay.
He's definitely somebody in the real world she would have gone for. Because looking at her, and then also how she described how she likes her men. You know, fuckboy, a guy in the streets. Okay. You know, real playboy, right? So Josh is definitely her type in reality.
She should go for Marshall.
Marshall.
Nice.
Oh my God.
Boring.
The softest
he seems
man
nice.
you've ever seen. It's honestly cringeworthy how soft he is.
Aww.
It's like, it takes being in touch with your masculinity to like a whole nother level. It's almost to the point where it's just like, okay, this is too much. Cries about everything. Was like, oh my God, I had a goldfish when I was 3. And I'm still mourning the loss. He's like on that level.
Okay, Marshall.
So she ends up picking Marshall, of course. Of course it's not working out because he's soft and she wants somebody to like slap her around in the bedroom. And that's not what he's going to give her. He's going to bake her cupcakes and pancakes in the morning. So first she was like, you know, I really like Marshall. And she was like, in the beginning.
Her thing says, I'm here to find my daddy.
See?
And live to start our lives together.
See, that's she wants a zaddy. And is Marshall giving zaddy to you?
No, Marshall. Let's see what
Marshall is giving us receding hairline at 26.
What's Marshall's thing say? Marshall says, "I accept that everyone is imperfect, including myself." Yeah, that's not.
It's not, the math is not mathing. It's not coinciding. So she, ultimately was like, she picked what she needed instead of what she wanted, basically. Mm-hmm. And she, in the beginning, she was like, he's not what I typically go for. He's not like, I like 6-foot basketball player build, tattoos, all that stuff. He obviously doesn't have that.
Not even close.
She was like, like, I still love him, blah, 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 blah. But as she's a little crazy as well. So as this is going on, their relationship is deteriorating because, like, she's not really... she might be into him, but it's like, it's not what she wants.
Right.
Anywho, so they're on the rocks. Then we have Kwame, and then the girl who he picked, his second choice, Megan.
Oh, wow. I don't remember seeing Megan. How did Kwame get to Megan? I thought it was between Isis and... No, Isis.
It was Micah and Megan. Micah ended up going with Paul. Remember? The guy from New Orleans. Remember that?
You acting like I need to remember these people. I haven't even seen the show. You're just throwing out names,
but
girl.
This is what I said. You're like, I don't like the name Micah. You remember all that?
Yes, but I didn't know where Megan came from. I thought he picked one of them girls. Okay.
Those were the two girls I was telling you about. He had two blonde girls, Megan and Micah.
But I assumed he picked the other one. Okay, let's see. Megan. Keep going.
Okay. So Kwame ends up picking his second choice, Megan. They're both blonde, but like one. So Micah is like, I'm not that pretty, but I have lip fillers, so I look like that. And I have daddy's credit card. She like, so envision that, like lip fillers, daddy's credit card. I talk like I'm from the valley. But then Megan's like blonde, but she's like, I don't have lip fillers, blonde, and I have a 9-to-5 job.
Not Chelsea. I don't see nobody.
Oh, Chelsea. That's it. Chelsea. That's her name. Chelsea.
Giving wrong names. Coming at me crazy.
You're right. Chelsea. That's her
My
name.
biggest pet peeve is long ass talking stages. Okay, girl, she ready for this.
So yeah. Oh yeah. Megan's about this.
Yeah, she's a
pathologist. Kwame obviously is still hung. So once Kwame sees Chelsea, Micah in real life, at the honeymoon, because at the honeymoon they all go to Mexico together. So at one point they all have the opportunity to see all the couples.
Yeah.
So he sees Micah and he's like, oh my god,
where's she from?
Lip injections. Oh my god, white girl, lip injections, blonde hair. I'm sold. So he's like, oh, did I make the right decision? Well, you didn't make any decision because Micah rejected you. But anywho, so of course he's like hung up on Micah. Yada yada yada. Poor Chelsea really wants this for whatever reason. She's like super obsessed with Kwame. I don't know why. It's disgusting because he's disgusting and he makes my skin crawl. So that's them. That's about that. And then Micah and Paul, so the guy that Micah ended up picking, he's from New Orleans. He's a sweet guy. They seem to like each other, but remember, Micah's a horrible person, like I told you. I don't see them really making it.
He's an environmental scientist.
Yeah. I think he's like...
That's not gonna work.
He's like, I'm a scientist and I got this pretty blonde girl, so here I am. I think that's...
So, I seen the scene with them two, Micah and her BFF in the pool. Is that their honeymoon? Irina?
Yes.
He was talking crap or something because people seem really not to like them.
They're just horrible. It's just so okay. Basically, while they were all in the pods, like you're going through the motions. You're here to find love, quote unquote, in like X amount of days. Like as the girls are getting dumped, they're like crying, and then the other two were just like Micah and Irene are basically just like laughing at these girls' misery. Oh, and like especially the girls, like if they're talking to a guy like Micah who ends up with Paul, right? Yeah, Paul had another girl who was interested in Amber, right? Should have picked Amber. Paul ultimately was like, okay, I'm gonna break up with Amber and I'm gonna choose you, Micah. So when he did that, Amber comes into the house crying, blah, 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 blah. And Micah's like, I'm so happy right now. Oh, my God. They're like, it's just like, where's your sense of empathy?
Not to her face, like in the talking head, huh?
I mean, yeah, but then like her and Irina were just like laughing. Like, it's just like, where's your sense of empathy?
Right.
You soulless cow. So,
how long do they do the,
I honestly don't think it goes past like maybe 2 weeks to even give it that.
Yeah. Interesting.
So, yeah. I'm really excited to see who makes it on the aisle. Who makes it. This is what my prediction is going to be, okay? Tiffany and Brett, they're going to make it. So Micah and Jackie, we'll see. It all depends on Jackie. But for right now, I'm going to say no. Kwame and Chelsea, no. Micah and Paul, no. Zach and Bliss, yes. Is that all of them? I think so.
Can't believe her name is Bliss.
Stupid name.
Interesting.
But yeah, so that's where we are. Great show. Love it. At first, I was like, I don't like any of these couples. What's going on? But then once Zach and Irina broke up, I was like, okay, great. We're getting back on track here. Okay. We're getting back on the path.
And he got with Bliss.
Yeah, he got with Bliss.
So where does Irina go? She's like off the show?
Yeah, she was like, oh, and then get this, right?
Catch this.
So catch this. To add to how horrible of a human being she is, right?
Oh my God.
So she's like laughing at people's misery while they get down, blah, blah, blah. So when she goes onto the honeymoon with Zach initially, right? Mm-hmm. She doesn't like Zach. She says he's giving her the ick. Like, she doesn't want him to touch her, blah, 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 blah. Uh-huh. She sees Paul, which is Micah's fiance, right?
Her BFF.
Uh-huh. And she's like, oh my God, Paul's so hot, blah, 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 blah. And she tries to, like, make a pass at Paul.
Oh.
Her best friend. And she, like, tries to make a pass at him.
Does the other one know that she did that?
So Irina ultimately tells Micah, like, hey, I'm attracted to Paul, blah, 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 blah. Oh. And then Micah is like, I was your only friend in the house. Nobody else liked you. He doesn't like you. He likes me.
We were only friends in the house.
Literally. we were the only friends. So, yeah. But then I don't think we'll be seeing much of Irina anymore.
Oh, okay.
So, thank God.
So do those people go to the reunion if you don't have a couple? Because I would like to see them at the end. No?
Just the way how this season is, I think they'll be there. I think Irina has to be there.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And then she posted something on Instagram today apologizing for her like trash behavior, and I was like, ugh, you're still a horrible person.
That's so funny. You don't realize that I feel like those people have seen hundreds or how many of reality TV shows, and they still don't know how to act on reality TV.
Still don't know how to fake it till you make it.
Like, if you want to be the villain, but don't be like.
Don't be confused when everyone's like in your comments calling you beans from Even Stevens.
Yeah, that you're the villain.
Look at your behavior.
Play the villain. If you're gonna be the villain,
you asked for this, so we're giving you it.
Yes, play the villain.
Literally.
I haven't seen a good villain since Kristen Doty.
Oh yeah,
and it worked out for her.
I wouldn't call her a villain.
You wouldn't call her a villain. Everyone called her a villain, Jade. Especially
Raquel's in the villain.
Oh, now she is, but Kristen was in a very similar spot.
Kristen is just crazy.
Yeah, people didn't
not
like
a
her.
Villain.
Jade,
just crazy.
Did you watch the early season?
Honestly, yes. Honestly, I don't even think she was crazy. I think she just had people were just against her.
People were just like up her butt. Jade, it was a reason.
People were against her.
People
would find anything and everything wrong for her to do. Like, just villainize her for any reason when she really wasn't doing anything wrong. Aside from sleeping with her best friend's boyfriend.
That was the reason why that was the whole reason why no one liked her.
I mean, that was her downfall.
Yeah, that was her downfall. People liked her before that. But she eventually got back in good graces. I like her now.
I liked her then. There would be no show without her. Okay,
oh, yes.
There is no Vanderpump Rules without Kristen Doty.
Right. I mean, same with Jax.
Him too. Yeah. Ugh. Those two
made the show. Right.
They should have gotten married. Oh, can you imagine?
No.
Can you imagine that offspring?
Oh my God, one of them would be in jail. I could see Jax's mugshot for pushing her something. No. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm pushing her over the ledge of their 2-story house. Mm-mm. Okay, well, that's all I have.
Okay, Love is Blind.
I can't wait to, share who gets married and who doesn't. Down to the nitty-gritty.
Tell us about the movie we're reviewing today, love.
The real reason. Oh. Well, actually, I won't share that because it takes away that limit of surprise. Okay. Think white women. Think affluent white people. Think Labor Day weekend in the Hamptons.
Of course.
Think the FBI. Think impersonation.
Kidnapping.
Think kidnapping. Think the hit song 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton.
Okay. Very specific.
And that brings us to...
Drum roll. Wait.
Oh, yeah, that's a good...
I feel like it doesn't come across when I listen to it, but...
Side note, I went to one of my teammates' wedding. 4-hour drive to St. Charles. Oh, God.
The St. Charles Baton Rouge way?
Not St. Charles, Lake Charles.
Lake Charles.
And then I was going with my two teammates, Tyler and Michaela.
Mm-hmm.
And then Michaela was like, let's play a game. And I was like, ugh, whatever. And then so she was Googling like games to do in the car ride. And she was like, what's the number one thing they said to do on car rides and road trips? And I was like, what, Michaela? Listen to podcasts. And then she was like, let's listen to yours. Oh. And I was like, oh my God, please do not. I was like, do not force that upon me. I was like, I literally cannot. And so we ended up playing it. We played the Bring It On episode.
Classic.
But I was like, just like
hearing your voice.
Not because I've listened to it before, but listening to it while other people are around, I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like, after like the first 40 minutes, though, we didn't even get to the movie. We were still on all the facts and figures.
Oh yeah,
that I give out, and I was like, all right, this is good enough. We've got to turn it off now. So yeah, I just felt like sharing that.
Yeah. Thanks for the listen. Get it up there. I was about to ask something.
Where were we?
Oh, drum roll. We did the drum roll. The movie that we're doing today is
we went around the world twice to get here.
Yes,
White Chicks.
Dun, dun, dun. I don't know what song I'm doing.
Okay, summary.
Give me some facts.
Two FBI agents / brothers, Marcus, Marlon Wayans, and Kevin Copeland, Shawn Wayans, accidentally foil. Accidentally foil. I want to say foul.
I thought you were about to say.
Accidentally foil a drug bust. As punishment, they are forced to escort a pair of socialites, Tiffany and Brittany Wilson, played by Anna Dewick and Rochelle Attias, to the Hamptons, where they're going to be used as bait for a kidnapper. Damn. But when the girls realize the FBI's plans, they refuse to go. Left without options, Marcus and Kevin decide to pose as the sisters, transforming themselves from African-American men into a pair of blonde white women.
That's not what
happened. This is not the most accurate summary.
Because they don't know they've been used as bait.
I was like, they don't. I did Google the summary, and when I read it, I was like, that's not the storyline. But
you said copy and paste.
I said I have other things to get to.
You could have
copy and paste. We've got to move on.
That one part. She's like, no.
I was like, we're going to keep it as is. Oh, wow. I honestly couldn't remember if it was correct or not because I did watch the movie yesterday. I watched it about 4 times. Mm-hmm. But when I was watching it, I wasn't paying attention to it. So I was like, is that what happened?
No.
Mm-mm. I was like, I'm pretty sure they just don't want to go because they're scarred.
Yes. I wonder if there's a version when that part is true. Yeah, but it's not. That's not the version we get.
Moving on. The film was directed by Keenan Ivory Wayans, and the screenplay is by Xavier Cook, Andy McElfresh, Michael Anthony Shoden, Keenan Ivory Wayans, Marlon Wayans, and Shawn Wayans.
Yay.
The film was released June 23rd, 2004. The film received generally negative reviews and was nominated for 5 Golden Raspberry Awards, including Worst Picture.
Worst Picture?
And currently has a 15% rating on Rotten
That's racist
Tomatoes.
People. This movie is 70%.
I was like,
this is a good movie.
53% at least.
At least. The only reason it's 15% is racist people. That's the only reason why.
I feel like anything where black men dress up as women, just people just like rip to shreds.
Homophobes too. Okay.
Racist, Norbit, Big Mama's House, White Chicks.
Like Big Mama's House? What?
I just feel like look up the freaking rating of Rotten Tomatoes on Big Mama's House.
Dang,
there's no way it's above 40%. I just feel like anything where black men dress up as women is just like always negatively reviewed.
I have to look up Joanna Man after. But
I'm telling you, a black man dressed up as a woman, they hate it. They hate it.
That's crazy. Bring Down House is actually not Bring Down House. Big Mama's House is actually good.
I don't really liked it. Out of the films where a black man, I think Norbit, literally. If I could,
that's the one you're throwing in there.
this hear me out for a second. I hold this to be a very true testimony in my heart. I feel like Norbit is not only
Get ready for it. What are you about to say?
Woo! Jesus. Not only one of the greatest film work in cinematic history.
Whoa.
Also,
cinematic history.
Also, I think it touches highly on common Black stereotypes in the African American community. For it's supposed to be from a funny standpoint, but the accuracy within it is so accurate that I'm like, oh my god, this is like grade A, but also racist at the same time. For that reason, I think it's a great body of work. I really do.
I did not know that you felt this strongly about Norbert. I've never heard you say that.
I think it's just fantastic.
I did not know that about you. I mean, it's a funny movie. Wow.
I think it's horribly racist, but fantastic. I mean, just think about it. Norbert, he's married to Respucia, who's this big Black woman who's dark skinned. She's horrible. She's repulsing. She's annoying. She's angry. She's mean. Then comes along this light skinned Black woman who he falls in love with. Then we have the racism with because he was an orphan, so he was grew up in an orphanage, but his foster parents were Asian, so he dresses up as an Asian man. Those stereotypes, I was like, this is horribly racist, but these are very accurate stereotypes that are being portrayed here. And I just feel like he hits the nail on the head.
Not accurate stereotypes, but
accurate perceptions.
There we go.
Accurate perceptions. Accurate perceptions of how people perceive Black women. Mm-hmm. The Asian community.
Colorism.
It just touches on all points. His goal wasn't for that, but that's what I see when I watch the movie.
You can teach us in the class. I can use this in the class. Yes. Watch that movie. And
I would literally, if I was a film teacher, I was like, let's dissect the film Norbit. That's what we're going to do today. And I also want to point out that this movie, Norbit, came out the same time as Dreamgirls. And I don't know if he was nominated for the Oscar or not. Or they almost didn't nominate Eddie Murphy for an Oscar in Dreamgirls because of Norbit.
Oh, they was like, son, you'd have messed it up.
Which I think is one, racist, and two, y'all nominating him for Dreamgirls for an Oscar. Y'all really should have been nominating him for Norbit for the Oscar.
All right, let's move on. We're just saying crazy things.
All right, now I'm just going off the rails.
Yeah, now you just talk crazy. But that's actually messed up. They were so offended by Norbert. They were like, you can't do funny and serious.
We can't even nominate you for this Oscar anymore.
They said you did too much. That's messed up.
Isn't it?
Sir, I'm multi-talented actor.
Period. Okay. Where did I leave off? Oh, 5 golden reds, 15. Yeah. Okay, budget. You ready?
Okay.
Did I tell you the budget?
No, I guess the budget.
Do you? Okay. Yeah, you do. Yeah. You do. Just remember what kind of film we have here. This is
I don't know. We did a lot of
there is some action.
There's some makeup.
Makeup doesn't cost as much as
30 million.
Oh my goodness! Look at the growth that we have here. She's really learning. Yes. She's really developing. I really.
Yeah.
You're really working. You're really working. I can really see the hard work.
I'm really working on the craft
that you're putting in. Yeah, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
You as an artist, it's just it's a whirlwind.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, box office. Oh well, the budget.
Was that right? Oh
no. I was like, you're a little bit off. 37.
Okay.
Box office. The moment of truth. Though, this is the real. This is the real test to see how you've grown.
I'm gonna say it was a different time for us. This is what we went to go see in the movie theaters, stuff like this. Mm-hmm. But then again, I mean, it is this type of movie. 20 million?
No.
Okay, was it a bomb?
I'm not going to tell you, Jordan.
Less than that. 10.
A movie that had negative reviews and was nominated for 5 Golden Raspberries and has a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes. What do you think that kind of movie would make?
I mean, I went to go see it. I don't know, 10 million.
No.
Is that too high?
Have you given up?
Yeah.
The movie made $113 million at the box office. They want to talk all that cash money shit
Gather around, everyone.
And look what they did.
That's what I was. Okay. I wanted to. Okay.
They wanted me in. They said, you know what? Y'all could keep them little golden raspberry awards because it don't matter because we're laughing all the way to the bank.
Because it's a funny movie. Black people. I should have knew. Because black people gonna see a black movie. Okay.
They very much are.
And it's hilarious. And it was the time to have these type of movies.
Definitely was.
This is what they gave us, and this is what we wanted to see.
This is what we signed up for.
Bless them. Yes. Hallelujah.
So Shawn Wayans, the fine one.
Yes.
So they're actually both pretty fine.
Yeah.
I actually now in my older age feel like Marlon is actually the cuter one.
You know what? After seeing young photos of Marlon,
he be looking fine.
I'm like, now I appreciate his face. I'm like, okay, yeah. I see it there.
Yeah.
I see it.
They're both very gorgeous looking men. But Marlon is kind of like a little bit cuter.
Yes.
Like Shawn's like too gorgeous.
Shawn's too put together.
Yeah.
Marlon's like walking down the street.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
what's up? Okay.
Who's that?
Yeah,
But anywho, so Shawn, which actually surprised me, but Shawn came up with the idea for the movie one night when he couldn't sleep and he was reading an article on Paris and Nikki Hilton.
Oh.
About them like partying and
in the Hamptons.
And then he was like, what if me and Marlon did this? Basically.
Are those two the closest in age?
I think
Is that
so.
why they hang out a lot?
Yeah. I think they're only like 2 years apart.
Okay.
So yeah. Maybe 4.
That's so funny.
Their dad died recently.
Did
he? Yeah. The matriarch of the family. No, that's the mother.
Mm-hmm. Patriarch
The family. Terry Crews, intentionally.
I don't know where this sentence is going to be.
First.
Initially.
This just didn't sound right.
Initially,
that was trying out or auditioning for a role for my wife.
His daddy died yesterday.
It was yesterday?
Huh?
Maybe like 2 days ago.
Oh, he posted tribute, so he must have died last year.
No, not last year. He died like a week ago.
Oh, he did die a week ago.
Some days ago.
Oh, okay.
Like some days ago.
Okay.
Didn't I just say that?
I think you said he just died, but when you said that, I thought you meant like...
Oh, within the
year. I didn't know you meant like he just died yesterday.
I meant, like, fresh off the scene. They're still mourning. The funeral hasn't happened yet.
No, I didn't know you meant that. Oh, wow.
But anywho, Terry Crews, the one who, the big buff. Who does he play?
He plays
Latrell Spencer. Okay. So Terry Crews initially auditioned for a role on My Wife and Kids.
Yes,
which is
the dad.
Another program that stars a Wayans brother.
Yes.
So when he arrived at the audition, he tanked it horribly. Did horrible. He was a nervous wreck. It was like one of the most embarrassing moments of his life.
Jesus.
So bad, like they pitied him. They're just like, oh
my God, stop.
This is uncomfortable to watch. It was just so bad.
It's making me uncomfortable.
So later that day, he also had his audition for White Chicks.
Okay. So
he leaves My Wife and Kids, goes to his audition for White Chicks, and at this point, he's just like, because he used to be an NFL player in real life. So he's like, I don't know if this Hollywood thing is for me. Maybe I should just like give it up. He gets to the audition. He's like, he puts no energy into it. Well, no energy, but he doesn't like care.
Yeah.
He's like, he's like, I don't even care how it goes. He's like, I mean, at this point, I've given up. He's like, I'm like, it is what it is. Like, I have nothing to lose. Who gives a shit, right? They love him. He seals the deal. He does great because he didn't care about how he looked or what he was doing. He didn't care. He was just like he went into it with no expectations, and they loved him. They're like, oh, this is it. So his agent calls him, and they're like, his agent calls him, and it's basically like, you didn't get My Wife and Kids, but you got White Chicks. And he's like, okay.
I would love to see that tape because I want to see what he was giving, not caring. Because I mean, Latrell's character is pretty. Out there.
Well, I don't think he was just like he just like he had nothing to lose, so he's just like, I'm just gonna do whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a my all.
So that was that. The makeup that they wore took up to 7 hours. And then Shawn, the fine one, he had a goatee, right? He didn't want to shave his goatee. So they put the makeup over his goatee. Damn. I thought that was just a fun fact to add. But both of them, Shawn and Marlon, both said that the most uncomfortable thing about it all was the blue contacts.
Oh, yes.
Which I was like, are you kidding me?
I noticed the contacts when I watched it yesterday. I was like, I never noticed they had contacts on, and the contacts are terrible.
I honestly think it's ridiculous that the most uncomfortable thing about that was the contacts.
Well, I guess
I've literally worn color contacts before, and they're literally not that bad.
I don't know. This is a long time ago. I feel like color contacts aren't as good as they are now.
Maybe so.
And they looked terrible. They looked really bad. They looked creepy.
They do look bad.
They looked really bad.
I mean, everything about them looks creepy.
It was so bad.
Everything looks bad.
And when I was watching, I was like, not they gave them blue contacts.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So that's what they said was the most uncomfortable thing about the whole situation. So ultimately, basically, because I read an article, and ultimately they were like basically saying like it was like a miserable experience for them, just like. Because they wrote it, but then they also were like they produced it as well. So it's just like they had to be producers, but at the same time like act, and they had to sit in 7 hours makeup chair and then go film for another 8 hours. They weren't getting any sleep. Yeah. Just like how in the Grinch, like I'm
surprised this took 7 hours.
They weren't taking it off. They would keep it on. Yeah. It was just like skin was breaking out. It was just like they were just saying how it was like a miserable experience.
Oh, they got their payday.
And then Keenan, the oldest brother, was just basically like, well, he would always tell him, like, every time they would complain, he'd be like, well, you wrote it. I don't know. This was y'all's idea.
You wrote it, you signed up for it, you produced it.
This is what you signed up for. And then also, so you know how the movie is set in, like, the summer in the Hamptons.
It's not.
But majority of the film, some of it was filmed in the Hamptons, but majority of it was filmed in Vancouver, Canada during the winter.
Damn, Canada.
So it's just like, they were freezing cold.
Skirts.
It was just like, just misery for them.
Why did they go to Canada?
I don't know. Everything's filmed in Canada.
Canada. What's going on in Canada?
Vancouver is like the LA of
Canada. Vancouver's the LA of Canada.
And also in the article that I read, this was like really cryptic, and it kind of made me uncomfortable, and I was like, this is weird. Terry Crews said he kind of like fell in love with
Tiffany.
And I was like, that's weird. I was like, I don't know.
How did
he was like, I don't know, like, like I shouldn't be saying this out loud, but I kind of like fell in love with her because it's just like I'm supposed to be like pretending to be in love with this girl, as an actor. You're starting to convey real emotions, and then when it all ended, I like missed her. I was like.
But she wasn't even attractive in the movie.
Yeah, so
she wasn't even a nice character.
Yeah. It was really weird.
Okay, Terry. Interesting.
Interesting take.
Maybe he just missed the laughter.
Yeah.
That is funny.
It's really weird. Okay.
Just imagining Terry Crews like during like the breaks looking at Marlon Wayne in his outfits, and it's like
like, I tapped that. Cast Shawn Wayans as Kevin Copeland / Brittany Wilson. Marlon Wayans as Marcus Anthony Copeland II / Tiffany Wilson. Jamie King as Heather Vanguard. Oh, when I was doing my research. So, those are the sisters.
Yes.
That they have beef with.
The Vander.
Vanguard is Dutch, and it translates into of the money.
Oh, look at that.
So Jamie King as Heather Vanguard, Brittany Daniel as Megan Vanguard, Busy Phillips as Karen Googlestein, Jennifer Carpenter as Lisa Anderson, Jessica Caulfield as Tori Wilson. Who the fuck is that? Tori Wilson?
That's the little skinny one.
Her name's Wilson too, but that's confusing.
Yes, I did see that. Her last name is Wilson.
Also
too.
Wilson.
Yes.
Why would they do that?
I don't know why they did that. I was like, maybe they were supposed to be related somehow. I don't know.
Oh, are they?
But no, they don't mention that. But yes, I did notice that, and I was like, why? Why is her last name Wilson?
So the little tiny one. Okay. John Hurd as Warren Vanguard. Terry Crews as Latrell Spencer. Frank Fajon, I don't know, as Chief Elliot Gordon. Lachlan Monroe as Agent Jack Harper. Eddie Velez as Agent Vincent Gomez. Rochelle Atiz as Denise Porter. Madeline Ward as Brittany. Why is this starting to repeat? Oh, the real Brittany Wilson. Okay. Madeline Ward as Brittany Wilson, and then Ann Dewick as Tiffany Wilson, the real sisters. And that's about all we need to know.
Yes. Lovely.
All right, and now we can party hardy and dive in.
Let's go to the Hamptons.
Ooh, I'm about to
dive in.
So, the movie begins with two FBI agents, Marcus Anthony and Kevin Copeland, who are brothers, are undercover at a local corner store or a bodega, depending on where this movie is shot.
I guess upstate New York.
New York.
Not upstate New York. New York City, baby!
Yeah, y'all call it a bodega. We call it a corner store.
Right.
And they're disguised as two Spanish workers. I would say Dominican, if I had to guess. It
was either giving to me... Dominican's fair. I was either going to say Puerto Rican or Cuban.
Oh, I can see Cuban. That's a good one.
They're definitely giving Afro-Latino.
Yes. But Marcus, who's really into his disguise, comes out with two maracas in his hands as a group of big Russian men enter the bodega to deliver ice cream.
Tell Manny the ice cream man delivery is here.
So the men are trying to deliver their ice cream. They drop it off. They're trying to leave. They got their cash. Before they leave, the brothers whip out their FBI badges and say, "You're under arrest."
Freeze! It's the FBI.
Yeah,
so the guys ultimately trying to run away because they were like,
they didn't even ask any questions. They were like, "Gotta go.
We're out of here." So of course Marcus and Kevin run after them. Marcus takes the big Russian one. Kevin takes the smaller ones. They get them down to the ground, and then they're like, "Okay, great. We busted them. We got the bad guys. We did it on our own. We're going to get the credit." And they just delivered to us, the proof. And we've got, 300 pounds of, keloid.
Fresh. 1,000
kilos of
Cambodia.
I was going to say campaign. It's literally cocaine. I don't know why campaign wants to come out.
I thought you were saying Cambodia cocaine or something like that.
Probably Colombian.
There we go.
So then... he opens up the container. He goes to sniff it out, taste it, make sure it's the real stuff. And then he realizes that it is actually not cocaine. It is in fact ice cream. Ugh. So he goes to the main ice cream man leader and he's like, "Hey yo, where's the drugs?" And then he's like, the Russian guy, he's laying on the floor. He's got a bloody lip and he's like, "I don't know anything about any drugs. I sell pure vanilla ice cream."
Speak on it.
And now, ultimately, they are realizing they might have the wrong guy. And when they're having this exchange, another group of ice cream men walk into the corner store or bodega, if you may. And they're like, "Hey, tell Manny that the ice cream guy's here." And then they kind of peep out the scene. They see that there's guns, there's ice cream, there's men on the floor. And then the guy who walks in is like, "Nope, never mind, wrong store." Excuse us. Forget that we were ever here.
Yeah, I said no thank you.
And now the brothers, Marcus and Kevin, now realize, okay, these are the guys that we were actually looking for. And now a shootout ensues.
In such a tiny area. Terrible.
In a very tiny corner
with
store.
People who have nothing to do with this.
Innocent bystanders. Who were literally just trying to deliver some ice cream. What I want to know is...
Where do you get this intel?
Why do we have two separate ice cream deliveries going on?
But one's ice cream, one's cocaine.
But I just feel like that's something that should have been ironed out. What are the odds of that?
I guess that's what they were thinking. They were like, what are the odds of that? It's gotta be... But it is a working bodega. Ice cream is gonna come. Why didn't Manny tell him, "Oh yeah, actual ice cream's getting delivered today"? I don't know.
Just a lot.
He's a terrible informant.
So then, so a shoot off ensues.
Bang bang.
Marcus and Kevin are shooting at the bad guys. Meanwhile, the innocent ice cream men are on the floor. And everybody ultimately kind of makes a run for it. So they go out with the innocent ice cream men hop into their ice cream truck, and then the villains with the cocaine who are posed as ice cream men hop into their ice cream truck, and they go into opposite directions. And Marcus is basically like, which one do we pick? And then Kevin's like, I don't know. So they ultimately don't pick anybody. And they don't save the day. They don't get the bad guys like they had originally planned, and they don't get any credit. They actually get in trouble.
I cannot believe that the Russian guys are like, no, I'm not even dealing with the cops. I'm out. They didn't even like stick around to like explain their story.
I wouldn't either. A shootout ensues. I'm getting the hell out of here.
Got to go. So in the next scene, we see their chief arrive, and he's basically like, you guys in trouble.
Chief Gordon.
He's like, why didn't y'all ask for backup?
He's like, you would think if y'all are going to do all this, put on extravagant makeup, pose as these two Afro-Latino bodega owners, have a shootout with ice cream and all of this, you would think that you would at least
run it by me.
Call for backup.
Right.
And they didn't.
They
did nothing of the sort.
They did nothing. They didn't even file a police claim. I don't know how undercover things go. A police claim. Like, don't you have to sign up for a sting operation? I don't know. They didn't even put that in there.
Not a sting operation. So
the chief is basically upset with him. Does he put him on desk duty? I don't know. He's like, get out my face. Bye.
He's basically like, y'all are suspended. Basically.
Yeah.
And while the chief suspends them, their two arch nemesis are there to gloat.
Gomez and Harper.
And Harper.
And
two other FBI agents that are partners.
Partners.
What's that word I'm looking for?
What's that adjective? And they basically give each other a hard time. They make jokes. I miss these kind of movies when people just make real hard jokes. Just really got in there. Cut to that night, Marcus is going home, and he's had a long day. He's just got back from hanging out at the bar with his friends after his long day, and he goes, to get some food when he is interrupted by his wonderful queen of a wife, Gina. Is her name Gina?
Her name is Gina.
Who gives him a hard time. She's like,
Fawn A. Chambers as Gina Copeland.
Come on, girl. She's from the second Bring It On, right?
Yes. The best one.
Whoa.
I mean.
It's crazy. It's a crazy thought.
Don't get me wrong.
Number one.
I honestly, I do believe that the first one is the best one because it's the first one.
Yeah, but the second one is pretty good.
Second one is
phenomenal. I'm not gonna lie to you, because last time I did watch it, I was like, dang, this is really good.
The second one is phenomenal. And people swear up and down like the third one is like
with Solange.
With Solange is like God's gift to earth. It's a mediocre at best. It's okay. It's literally, the first one is literally the best one. The second one is literally the second best. And then the third one is the best. And then after that,
I think the third one is fun. I think people like the third one because it's cringy. Like, it's fun. It's like funny to watch.
It's like, the third one is cringeworthy, and people like to call it the best because of that. But it's like, be for real.
Yeah, the second one is actually a good film.
Like, no one gives the second one any notoriety. So good. And it is so freaking good. What is it on? Because I'm going to watch that later. Because, oh my God, it's so good.
Probably not on anything.
And what's her name? Whitaker? What a great name. Whitaker
Perfect.
Sawyer? No, Whitaker, I don't know.
Whitaker, Sawyer. That sounds right. She did say that. Yeah.
It's $3.99 on YouTube, $3.99 on Google Play, Movies and TV, $3.99 on Apple TV, $3.99 on Reebok, $3.99 on Vudu, and $3.99 on Amazon Prime Video. How much is it to just buy it? Jesus. All that. I'm gonna just buy the DVD off YouTube. Off Amazon.
$5, but do you have a DVD player? Figure that one out. So anywho, Marcus's wife, name is Gina. She's played by the black girl in the second Bring It On movie. And she's giving him a hard time. She's asking where he's been. Basically, but
Marcus.
But she's actually just asking for, love and support. I want to hang out with you.
You're not gone all day.
You haven't called me, checked in on me.
What's going on?
Yeah, you didn't bring home dinner. You're not giving me what I need as a wife.
And that's a problem for me. Like, we don't communicate.
We don't.
You don't show up and show out. I get my hair done. I buy you a pretty dress. You don't say anything. You don't take me anywhere. We're in this rut.
And I feel like they tried to pin her off as a angry black woman, but she's got points here.
She does. I don't think
Marcus. She's yelling. She's like yelling.
That was very stereotypical. Marcus. Yeah.
But what she does, when she calms down, she's like, and you don't. Yeah, she's like, you don't take me out. You don't talk about my hair.
Yeah. But so ultimately she's trying to say that, you know, they don't communicate, they don't spend any time together. Meanwhile, he is falling asleep on her while she is speaking to him.
I know you're not going to sleep,
Marcus. Just proving her point, ultimately.
Yes. And that scene's over. Back at police headquarters, everyone is being debriefed about a potential kidnapping that might happen. So Andrew Wilson, what? Who is this?
I don't know why, but it's just the way you said it. That
might happen. It might happen. I don't know. Who knows?
Potential kidnapping. That might happen.
Yes, that's what potential means.
Right. You like said it, Tori.
If anyone knows. Okay. So Andrew Wilson, who is the CEO of Wilson Cruise Line, never knew that, so I was paying attention, received a threatening, I don't remember that scene.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't even know why they started stalking them.
Right. I was like, what?
Literally
watching, this is so interesting how when we do this, how we're forced to pay attention and we learn all this like side information,
these
that
important
nobody
details.
Knows. So yeah, their dad is the heir to like a cruise line,
which is pretty rich. Yeah. So he received a threatening message that led the police to believe that his daughters, Brittany and Tiffany Wilson, would be the next targets of this string of kidnappings that's been going on.
Mm-hmm. And so the chief is basically like, we got to protect them. Mm-hmm. They might be next on the hit list.
They're being in the Hamptons this weekend.
And they're like, they're going to be in the Hamptons this weekend. Their father has given us the okay to like shadow them, watch them, surveillance them without their knowledge. But ultimately, we're going to be monitoring them 24/7. And the chief is like, they're coming in today. Who wants to go pick them up from the airport? And nobody wants to, because who the hell wants to pick up spoiled rich heiresses with 200 bags, 50 different personalities, and 20 different attitudes? Nobody. Nobody. So no one raises their hand. And meanwhile, Marcus and Kevin, who are on desk duty, are all up in arms about how they're on desk duty. So they go to the chief, and they're basically like, Chief, we want to be on this case. And he's like, great, sure. Go pick them up from the airport.
And they're like, oh.
And they're like, oh. That's not exactly what we're anticipating, but we'll do it.
So at the airport, Marcus is reading up on the case, and he learns that the FBI thinks Ted Burton is behind the kidnappings. And Ted Burton was a former partner of Mr. Wilson, but he lost all his fortune because of a bad business deal or something like that.
And then went to jail.
Yeah, I went to jail.
And then recently got out of jail, and they haven't seen him since no one's seen him since he's gotten out of jail. But
all the kidnapping started when he got out.
Once he got out of jail. So he's like the number one lead, right? Yes. So then Tiffany and Brittany, they arrive. They get off their PJ, their private yacht, and are greeted by Marcus and Kevin. And then they see them, Marcus and Kevin. They're like, we already donated to the United Negro College Fund. Get away from us. And they're like, no, that's not what we're here for. We're actually here to bring you to the Hamptons. And they're like, okay,
perfect.
Great. They're like, oh, great.
Take
Grab
Poodle.
Our bags, get baby, get the dog. Thank you very much.
I think he pooped in his little bag again.
Can you clean it up? We appreciate it.
Hell no. Gross.
So they all get in the car. They got 11 million bags of luggage.
Louis Vuitton bags everywhere.
Poor Marcus is forced to sit in the trunk while Kevin drives, and Tiffany and Brittany are just talking about the weekend and how this is the last weekend in the Hamptons because it's Memorial Weekend, and anybody is gonna be there, including their arch nemesis, the Vanderbilt sisters.
I don't think I would ever feel comfortable as a Black person going to the Hamptons.
Great. I'm glad you brought that up.
Great segue.
First of all, bravo. You haven't known, we love Bravo.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Summer House,
Yeah.
It's set in the Hamptons. They're not slowly adding more Black people because, they had Sierra and then they added somebody else. Now, I don't know where I'm going with any of this.
Okay.
I would like to see what it is like. I would like to spend a weekend in the Hamptons. Just want to see what it's like.
Would like to go with white people. Like, show me around, but I would... As a first Black person there, like, this is too much.
I would want to go with a Black friend who lives in New York and who has, white friends who goes to the Hamptons.
Yes. Like, I can't just be... Like, these are... These are the racist New Yorkers.
Oh yeah, these are
the Republican New Yorkers.
These are the Vandergelts, and the Hiltons, and the Waldorfs.
Yeah, I can't just be walking around.
And the Roosevelts.
Yeah,
they're all there. They're all in Hamptons.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would never be like, oh, me and my black friends, let's plan a trip to the Hamptons. Hell no.
No. I would maybe during it like an off season just to go, but not with the expectations to hang out with the people who are partying in the Hamptons.
I would literally want to go Memorial weekend, Labor Day weekend.
I would throw up.
Not July 4th. That's just too much. July 4th is too much.
Right.
But Labor Day weekend just to see what it's all about. But
I would go with Hannah Berner.
Yeah. She would have to be the white friend that my black friend knows.
Yes.
She would have to
We would have to be friends with Sierra.
Yeah.
Who's friends with Hannah Berner.
Who knows Hannah Berner?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say Sierra. Someone has to be. They added another girl post Sierra who's friends with Sierra. She seems a little bit more blacker.
Uh-huh.
So I wouldn't be her friend.
Yeah, okay. And who's friends with Sierra.
Yeah,
and who's friends with Hannah Berner. There we go. Sign me up. In that scenario, sign me up.
If you don't watch Summer House, you didn't follow any of that.
Bravo. Yes.
Bravo. But then also, Bravo is adding a Summer House, but Martha's Vineyard.
Oh hell no, that sounds so boring.
But they're black.
Oh,
they're black.
Martha's okay. I might look into that.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
They're all black. I can't wait to watch.
Oh yeah, remind me to watch that. Okay.
I can't wait to watch.
I'm about to say Snore, but they're black people. Black people in Martha's Vineyard.
Yes.
Turn the hell up.
Party. I'm ready.
Interesting. Are they young or they're older?
They're like Vanderpump Rule age.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're not old people.
Well, usually sometimes I feel like when they give us black shows, they'd be like 40, 50.
Yeah.
They don't give us like young black people.
Yeah, these are like 30-year-olds.
Yeah,
for sure.
Tate.
Cool. Sure. I'm excited. Okay. So yeah.
Back to the drive to the Hamptons. Marcus is in the back with all the luggage. The dog's sitting up front. The girls are in the back chit-chatting about this is about to be the most poppin' weekend of Hamptons history.
Yes. And they're talking about their arch nemesis, the Vandergeld sisters.
And how they want to beat them and be on page 6, I'm sure. So, something happens while they're driving. The dog starts moving and at one point leaps out the window, which causes Kevin to reach for the leash to save the dog. He loses control of the car, causing an accident where the sisters suffer minor facial scars. So one of them has a little cut on their nose and the other one has a cut above her lip.
And they're like, oh my God, your nose. Oh my God, your lip.
They're distraught.
They're literally just, I can't, yeah. They're distraught.
They're upset.
They're very sad.
So they go back to some hotel room that they found because they're not going to the Hamptons anymore. So they go to a hotel room. And the sisters are basically refusing to go to the Hamptons because of their facial injuries.
Yeah, and they're basically like, I'm going to have a BF. I want to speak to your manager. No, I want to speak to the owner of the company. No. I'm gonna write a letter. And they are literally just how white women
Karens.
They're carrying it up.
Yes.
They're in full Karen mode.
I'm gonna insert the little spiel here.
Great.
But yes.
They're
cutting up.
They're full throttle. Privileged and spoiled, and they are showing it.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, Kevin is like, you can't leave the hotel, just stay here. Because if anybody leaves, they'll see your hideous scars. Yeah. And then they're like, scars?
Not the S word.
And then so Kevin goes out to like reconvene with like Marcus, and Marcus is like, okay, what's the status? And Kevin is basically like, they're not leaving the hotel room. And he's like, what do you mean they're not leaving? And Kevin is like, look at what we're dealing with. These girls would not risk their, page 6 cover magazine and be seen by anybody with a tiny little cut on their lip and a tiny little bust on their nose.
Yes, it's not happening.
So they're not going anywhere. And then basically Kevin's like, no.
Marcus
is like, so what are we going to tell the chief? And Kevin's like, I'll think of something.
We ain't going to tell him shit.
Right. We're not gonna tell him nothing.
Not a damn thing.
We're gonna keep on keeping on.
So Kevin basically comes up with the plan to disguise themselves as the Wilson sisters to attend their weekend in the Hamptons. not Marcus. Kevin calls in his makeover guy that he has on speed dial.
The guy who did their Hispanic looking makeup in the beginning of the film. Josh.
Yeah. So they call up Josh. Josh comes with his crew, and it's basically a montage of them trying on different breasts and doing like
facial recognition to like match. The prosthetics.
Oh yes.
With like Tiffany and Brittany's face.
They're doing,
and then we have like prosthetic breasts.
Spray tans.
They're doing the whole nine.
Bring it all down.
Ultimately into two white women.
And next we see the transformation is complete. Kevin, who is now disguised as Brittany, and Marcus, who is now disguised as Tiffany, arrive in the Hamptons. And the two are immediately hit on by a group of Hampton bros, and they are very, very upset.
Hey, you trying to look at my lumps? Oh, handle mine. I'll take off my G-string and handle mine. No. He looking at me like I'm some kind of girl or something.
You are a girl.
So,
oh my God, I forgot.
Right. So they both get out of character, but they snap back into character when they notice that their FBI partner.
FBI co-workers.
Gomez,
and what's the other one's name? Harper are there.
Yes.
And then so they're undercover as well. Mm-hmm. Because Harper and Gomez are undercover because they're supposed to be surveillancing the Wilson sisters, who they do not know is actually Marcus and Kevin Copeland.
They look so ridiculous.
They look ridiculous. How can you look at any human being and be like, this is for sure a woman? Authentically.
You think they would wear pants or something. They're wearing like the miniest of skirts, just boobs out. It did look ridiculous. They look terrified.
They look horrific. Horrific. So, Gomez meets them. He's a bellhop. He's disguised as a bellhop. And Kevin and Marcus know who he is. But Gomez does not know that Kevin and Marcus are not Tiffany and Brittany. So he's like, hey, can I get your bags? Yada, yada, yada. And they're like, hey, Javier, thanks.
Yes. Sure. The bags in the car.
Bags are in the car, muchacho. Yeah. Can you teach him how to say, me love Taco Bell? Thanks.
He said, what does he say?
Mucho gucho. Musa gucho. He's like, can you teach him how to say,
Te amo Taco Bell?
Me gusta Taco Bell? Or something like that.
Son, they was going in. I was like, oh, you can't make this. Can you put that on silent?
That's not my phone.
That's not your phone?
Oh, it's my laptop.
Oh. I was like, it's coming from over there.
I was like, this is not. Like, this isn't me.
But anywho. So, and then after they drop off their bags, the girls or the boys head inside where they run into Harper, who is undercover as the front desk man. And when they get up there, he asks for their credit card ID. And Kevin, who realizes they don't have any information with, their faces as the Wilson sisters, he's like, credit card and ID?
I'm so freaking pissed.
Ma'am,
First of all, I go to Dr. Dorfman. He totally messes up my nose job. I ask him to make me look like Gwyneth Paltrow. I get off the surgery table looking like freaking Shrek. I'm gonna have a BF. Oh my God. She's gonna have a bitch fit. Oh.
No. Don't have a BF.
I'm gonna write a letter. Dear Mr. Royal Hampton, I am a white woman in America.
Now that might have been the best line. I am a white woman.
I am a white woman in America.
Ooh, Jesus.
And Harper, poor Harper, he's just working the front desk. He's like, no, you don't have to do that. Yeah. And then luckily, in the midst, right before, fake Tiffany, or is it fake Brittany? I don't know. Fake Brittany. Before she has her BF, the chief comes out disguised as like the hotel manager and is like, hey, what's going on? Is everybody okay? And then she's like, no, this man tried to, what did she even say? Like, I don't even know.
He tried to assault me. I don't know.
I am a white woman and he is not treating me as such. Ultimately, is what she's saying. And then he's like, it's fine. We'll get it taken care of. Here's your room number. And she's like, oh my God, you're so sweet. Has anybody ever told you look like Denzel Washington? And then the chief's like, well, I've heard it once or twice before. And then she's like, oh my God, yes. What a beautiful chocolate man. so chocolate. So nice.
Chocolate. So Kevin and Marcus, as you know, the Wilson sisters, try to run off to head to their hotel rooms when they're stopped by the real Wilson sisters' 3 best friends, Lisa, Karen, and Tori. And at this point, Kevin and Marcus are trying to pretend to know them, and they're like, oh yeah, it's been a while. And she's like, it's only been a year. And she's like, huh. And then the friends are like, you guys look a little different. And they're like, you know what? You got, what did they say? Collagen.
And they're like, oh my God, totally. Yeah. How did you know? And they're like, I mean, come on, be for real. Your lips went from Cameron Diaz to Jay-Z.
Racist.
Racism. Just a hint. And then, so they basically, Marcus and Kevin basically try to end the conversation short. And they're like, okay, well, it's great catching up. Bye. And they're like, where are you going? The Hamptons party starts right now. We're going. Let's go. And they're like, fine.
So at the party, we are introduced to 2 important characters that we see throughout the whole movie, Russ and Heath. And we learn that Heath, he's like the leader of the pair. Heath is currently dating Heather.
Girl, this whole lifetime, I thought that boy's name was Keith.
Right, Heath is... Oh, well.
Did you ever think his name was Heath?
Girl, you know I don't care about minor characters' names. I don't think I realized
ever knew his name.
I don't think I realized Brittany and Tiffany's name off if you quiz me for this.
I don't think I knew, but she's always saying, hey, Keith! 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 Like, I thought she's always talking about Keith, and I always heard Keith.
Oh, okay.
But it's Heath.
Heath.
That was crazy to me. Just like in The Parent Trap, her name isn't Jessie.
No, that's crazy.
It's Chessie.
No, that was just ridiculous. Because there wasn't even no point to that.
There was no reason for her name
Chessie's not a name.
Who's ever heard the name Chessie?
Yeah, that was just disrespectful.
What is a Chessie?
I don't know. Like, why can't it just be Jessie?
Because Jessie is short for Jessica. What the hell is Chessie? Chelsea?
Who? Why?
Like, what?
It was unnecessary.
What nonsense is that? Because if your name is Chelsea, people call you Chels. Like, hey, Chels.
Yeah.
Right.
You lost me. But still a terrible name.
You're like, I guess.
Wait, you lost me.
Last.
Terrible name. So Heath is currently dating Heather Vandergel, which is one of their rivals, and apparently still sleeping with Karen, which is one of the Wilson sisters' friends.
Karen is played by Busy Phillips.
Busy Phillips. Busy or
Busy? Her name is Busy. Stupid.
I like it.
So when they're introduced, this is another thing that you don't notice when you pay attention. When you don't pay attention. Mm-hmm. So when they introduce her, what's the friend name? What's the flunky name?
Karen?
No, Heath.
Russ.
Russ. Oh, so so the girls walk in. They're like, Heath is like, oh look, it's the Wilsons. And then Russ is like, have they always been this big? I'd still smash. And then Heath makes like a comment about Karen, and then Russ is like, oh, are you hitting that Karen Googlestein, the heir to the soap fortune? It's like, soap.
Hey, money's money.
What? Soap. Do you know how far back soap goes?
Oh yeah, she got money.
The heir to a soap fortune? That's like being an heir to the wheel.
Yeah. And she's acting like bottom B.
To like a basket. To the fork. Soap? How long soap goes
soap,
back?
right.
And what soap? Are we talking Dove? Are we talking what's the one that clears the bacteria? Freaking
the other one, yeah. The soap.
We have it in the back.
Dial?
Like what soap fortune? Or is it the Googlestein soap that like the heir to the soap fortune? I couldn't get over that.
It's almost up there with the toaster strudel.
Yes, it's almost up there with Gretchen Wieners and toaster strudel. Her dad invented toaster strudel. That's like inventing
amazing.
The Pop-Tart.
Yes, up there.
That's money.
Yeah. Woo.
That is money.
And she go to public school. I'm like, girl, I gotta send you to a private school.
Right.
Stop playing. But anywho, and then we also during this encounter, Heath apparently is waiting to break up with Heather after he's done with this big deal that he has with Heather's dad.
So Heather's one of the Vandergelts.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Heather's one of the Vandergelts.
The Wilson sisters, arch nemesis.
Yes.
So he's dating one of them.
Mm-hmm. He dating everybody. Just slinging that thing around. So, Marcus and... So after this, Marcus and Kevin encounter their new rivals, which are the Vandergirl sisters, Heather and Megan. And at this point, the girls exchange, like, jokes and your mama jokes.
Your mother's so dumb, she went to Dr. Dre for a pap smear. Oh! Something's wrong, Dr. Dre. My coochie's doing a beatbox.
Yeah? Well, your mother is so stupid, she exercises when she could just get, like, liposuction or something.
Yeah.
What
the hell are their names? The Vandergirl girls?
Heather and Megan.
That's confusing.
Heather and Megan?
Heather and Megan, and then Brittany and Tiffany.
Yeah, Jade. Well, they were going to give them the most basic names ever.
Oh, my God.
So.
My brain is rattled.
Too much vanilla. So also at the party is a New York One news reporter, Denise Porter, who Kevin takes a liking to. She'll be coming throughout the film. So that's going to be his love interest. Look out for that. And also at the party is pro basketball player. Why does he play basketball and not football?
It is crazy to me because I never knew that he played basketball.
Me either.
Nothing about him as a human being says like basketball player.
Why would they not rewrite that?
Everything about him says NFL player.
There's no way that someone with that stature would play basketball.
He's not tall enough. He's too thick.
So
he doesn't have any speed to him across the court.
Just muscle.
Like what? Basketball? In what world?
It's like they didn't feel like rewriting him to be a
literally
player.
it's as simple as literally changing two lines.
Yes.
Like it is so simple
right.
to have just like rewritten him as an NFL player.
It was ridiculous.
It's astonishing.
So
it's crazy.
Pro basketball player Latrell Spencer walks in and he sees Marcus,
played by former NFL player Terry Crews.
He walks in and sees Marcus dressed as Tiffany and is instantly attracted to her.
It may be summertime in the Hamptons, but it's snowing white women up in here.
He does not say snowing white. He says snowing white women up here.
He doesn't. But why would he should have said it's snowing white women up in here. I did all of this. I did all of that to hear white women inserted in that joke, and I didn't get it. So I'm gonna insert it myself.
There you go.
It may be summer in the Hamptons, but it's snowing white women up in here.
He has a liking for white women, snow bunnies, if you will, is what I think is the term that he's trying to get at.
Which is another reason why he should have been an NFL player, because that is also the typical persona of an NFL player. Now, don't get me wrong, NBA players like white women too, but they like the ones that look like Kim Kardashian. The NFL players like the ones that look like Tiffany and Heather Wilson.
Different demographics.
Yeah.
So he goes to hit on Tiffany, and she's immediately like, no. Back away.
See my brother? That's what I'm talking about. A white girl with a black girl's ass.
He does. There you go. He goes to talk to her. She's not into it. Get out my face. And even at one point, she pepper sprays him. And he's still into her.
He only makes him like her more.
Oh, that's how I like my woman. Something
he's
like
she don't know it, but that's wifey right there.
Terrible.
Like what? Now, if a black woman would have pepper sprayed him,
he'd be called.
He'd have called the police on her.
Yeah.
But he'd be like angry, aggressive. But when a white woman does it, oh my goodness, it's kinky.
Yes. So that night is the Vandergelds' annual charity auction party, and the girls want to take Marcus and Tiffany, as the Wilson sisters, out shopping to buy new clothes for this important event. So on their way to the shopping mall or whatever, they have a sing-along scene, and this is when they sing.
This is when we are first introduced to 1,000 Miles in the film.
If I could walk
into the sky, do you think time would pass me by? Oh, 'cause you know I walk 1,000 miles if I could just
tonight.
So the song is playing on the radio. It's the #1 requested song on FFM radio.
Okay.
And the girls are like, they can't sing it. They don't know.
They don't know these
And
words.
then Tori's like, okay, let's just change the station. And then a song by 50 Cent that just says entire song, just the N-word.
It's called Realest Niggas Song.
On repeat. And then they start singing that because that's their real jam. They're like, yeah. And as they're rapping the song, good for the Karen. What are the odds? Karen is the one who turns it off and is like, who's actually being politically correct.
It's like, you can't say that.
What are the chances? How ironic. How ironic, right? The Karen's the one being politically correct.
She's got some.
Karen turns off the radio and she's like, guys, I can't believe you just said that.
Yeah, it's
and they're like, said what? She's like, the N-word. And Brittany's like, I mean, there's no one around.
They're like, oh.
And then they're like, oh, well, I guess that means we can all say it. So then they all join in singing. What a bonding moment that they shared over saying the N-word on repeat.
I could have did without that part.
I think we all could have. I could have definitely done without watching 4 white women say the N-word 3 times over.
Right. So at this point, they finally made it to the mall, and Marcus is going to try on outfits because he needs a new look. And while he's trying on outfits, he gets a call from Gina. And at the moment he answers the phone call, the lady who works at the mall comes in and is helping him put on his clothes. And she's saying things like, "Oh, how are you gonna fit this big thing in
this tight hole?
Look at this tight hole. How are we gonna fit this big thing?" And Gina's like, "Hole fitting
tight." She's like, "It's almost through. We just gotta keep pushing. Push what through what hole, Marcus?"
And while this is all going on, Gina hears it all, and eventually she hangs up.
Obviously, it sounds like he's having sex.
Yes.
He's cheating on her. That's her assumption.
Her biggest
She's
fear.
sitting under the hairdryer with her friend, which is Drew Sidora from Real Housewives of Atlanta, by the way.
I really liked her in this film. She does really good.
She's a lot younger.
She's younger. There we go.
She's a lot younger in this one. And I must say, I don't like her on Real Housewives of Atlanta at all.
I haven't seen her since the first season, but I was rooting for her.
So annoying. I haven't seen it since the first season either, but after watching the first season, I was like, y'all can literally get rid of her. She was so annoying.
I like how she divorced her husband. He was trash.
He was. That's one good thing that
he went to Tampa and then for a weekend and didn't text or tell.
Oh my God, I forgot.
He would have been. I would have attacked him the moment he walked in that door.
He was hot though. That much I'll give her. She had a fine husband.
Oh, not my type, but he was handsome.
I thought he was cute.
I wouldn't say hot, but I would say handsome. Yes.
He was handsome. He was handsome. Sure. He could have been like 4 inches taller.
Yeah. Anywho, so Gina's upset. She thinks Marcus is up to something. Marcus wasn't able to, to talk her through it before she hung up. But in another dressing room, Kevin is helping Lisa find an outfit.
Why wouldn't he just tell her, like, hey, I'm posing as, like, this white woman for a couple of days?
I don't know. That's the problem. He don't communicate. No communication skills, because that's fine. Say I'm undercover for the weekend. Stupid. So Kevin is helping Lisa find an outfit. She's trying on different outfits. Kevin watches her change. He's like, that's so hot. And Lisa has a mental breakdown.
Hi, I'm Cellulite Sally. Look at my huge badonkey. Oh, and don't forget about me. I'm Back Fat Betty. Now, who could have said that? Oh, yeah, it's Tina the talking tummy. I can't even wear a short skirt and a top without looking like a fat pig.
And Kevin doesn't know what to do. He's freaking out. At one point he goes, okay, I'm going to look for some professional help. Dr. Phil, Oprah. I died.
You need real help. You need real professional help. Dr. Phil, Oprah.
I died when that part came up. I was like, that is hilarious.
So being, a woman, what's her name, Lisa?
Yes.
She has his body dysmorphia.
She is a stick.
She's just like, ugh. She's hating her body, and he's not used to that, so he's freaking out because she's freaking out, and it's just a sight. It's a scene.
Yes, he's like, this is too much. So that scene ends, and then they're done shopping. Everyone, Marcus found something that he ripped up, but that's besides the point. As they're leaving the store, Kevin's walking out first, and some man walks by, steals his purse. And inside his purse is his police badge and his gun, which is very important. So he chases after the guy to stop him.
And baby, he is going full throttle.
He's full force.
He's going D1 athlete speed.
In his Kinlow heels.
And he actually doesn't have heels on. I actually read when I was
and
doing my notes. He couldn't run with heels on.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why they didn't give him tennis shoes, but I guess he doesn't have any shoes on while he's running.
Oh, okay.
And he was saying in the article, he was like, it was freezing cold. I had to run in freezing cold with no shoes on. It was just a miserable experience.
You know what's so funny? Like, they're doing that stuff, but like there's actual like action stars that do like really hard stuff. I don't know, but
this very well could have just been like a stunt double moment.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just funny. They're like, I had to run with no shoes on, but I get it. But they're like,
I mean, I would be pissed too if I had to run, but it's like winter.
I know.
Like it's like cold ground,
and we're black, so
right.
We're like,
right.
This is not.
We hate the cold.
It's not what we're doing.
This isn't
for me.
Our jizz.
Yeah.
So he's running after this robber, this purse snatcher, and he's getting closer. He's like hopping over cars. He's running into like bikers. But then, of course, him being the athletic man that he is, he catches the purse snatcher.
Got him.
And gets his purse. And then he's like, the robber is basically like, geez, lady, all of that for a purse? And to Kevin / Tiffany Brittany, I don't know which one, reply, he says, it's not just a purse. It's Prada.
Speak on it, because ain't nobody trying to steal my Prada neither.
And then the girls catch up with him, and they're like, oh my God, Tiffany or Brittany, whichever one you are.
Brittany.
That was so cool.
That was amazing.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
One of them goes like, oh, I need a cigarette. Like, after all this.
I was like, this is a lot.
This is a lot. So now it is the night of the Vandergirls charity auction, and the girls have arrived, and they are very upset because they're sitting in the back of the party, and they're sitting by like the bus boys who are like cleaning out the dishes and stuff. But this is what happens when you come for the Vandergals. You sit in the back of the bus. So at one point, Karen sees her lover Heath and goes up to him. Before she goes up to him, she asks Tiffany to powder her nose, and he puts this big old dust ball on her freaking nose, and she goes over to talk to Heath. Heath sees her, comes over. He's like, whoa, that's a lot. Anywho,
that's a lot of powder.
That's a lot of powder. And she's basically like, hey, I haven't been able to get a hold on you. Did you like change your number or something? And he's like, yeah, I changed my number. And she wants to ask if he wants to hang out, later that night, as a booty call would. And before she can really like get a chance to ask, Heather comes up and she's like,
his girlfriend,
and she's
the Vandergals.
And she first of all calls Karen a coke-whore because it looks like
she's like, ew, coke-whore.
Clean up.
Clean up after yourself next time.
And she takes her man with her, and Karen goes off sadness.
And then realizes that she has
powder all over her nose.
All over her nose. And then Russ, Heath's little flunky, is like, hey, do you have any more of that?
He's the worst. Boy, get out my face. So, as part of the charity auction...
Russ likes to party.
Yes. He has the drugs. As a part of the charity auction, they're auctioning off dates for the women. So, first, I think it's Heather has an auction. Heath,
one of the Vandergirls. She's up for auction. Of course, Heath bids on her $20,000, biggest in the charity's history. Great, but also part of the production, Tiffany is getting to be auctioned off. She goes up there. Before she goes, she tells she tells Kevin, help me. She goes up to the front. At first, Heather is like, does anyone want to bid $5? Fine, 10. And she's like, ha 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 ha. Hilarious.
But Latrell comes out of nowhere to save the day. He's like, $5,000.
And then, of course, he does not want to go on a date with Latrell. So Marcus enlists in Kevin's help and is like, please, fix it. So Kevin's going around as, who does he play? Tiffany? I'll get it.
Brittany.
Okay. Kevin is Brittany. Okay, I got it. Mm-hmm. So Kevin as Brittany is going around And he's like pinching random men on the butt and tickling their armpits to get them to like accidentally like hoop and holler and like raise their hand to make it look like they're bidding. So Latrell will say like 5,000, and then Brittany/Kevin will tickle somebody's armpit and like force them to say 10,000, and then at this point it's just like a bit off. And then at one point Latrell gets fed up and he just bids $5,000 flat out.
No, 50.
$5,000 is a mistake.
Oh, okay.
$50,000 is what he bid. Cash.
And got the bag right next to him, which is crazy.
Fine. $50,000 to the big black guy over there. Come and take your prize.
Rude. Ma'am, I just donated to your charity.
Not to the big black guy.
Right.
The big black guy over there. Come and get your prize.
LOL.
I'd be like, actually, you know what?
Give me my money back. So, party's over. And that night, Marcus and Kevin are back in the room relaxing, taking their makeup off, when they hear a knock at the door. And it's their quote-unquote friends who come over for a sleepover. Party. So, at this point, Kevin and Marcus have to put on their makeup back on, which they do very quickly. They're scrambling. Right. But they manage. And they invite the girls in for a sleepover. At this point, Marcus is braiding Karen's hair in cornrows, unfortunately. And Karen is basically asking for advice about her situation with Heath. And they're basically calling her a booty call, leave the man. And then she gives this whole sob story about how she needs this and she's sad.
And did you realize this? Because I've watched this movie 100 times and never made the realization. As Karen is talking about her situation with Keith, she's like, I mean, you know what it's like to put in so much effort into like a guy and you want him to reciprocate like these emotions and communicate and tell you how he feels, blah, 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 blah. And while Karen is saying all of this, Marcus, as Tiffany, is thinking about his wife, Gina.
Oh, and I didn't realize that.
I didn't realize that either.
Yeah.
And he's thinking about how he's been neglecting Gina because she's putting all this time and this effort and wants to be seen by her husband. And he's been neglecting her.
Mm-hmm. Come on now.
And then he finishes her braids, and then Karen says that she thinks that he, or she, Tiffany, might have been black in a past life.
Yeah. Very intuitive.
Fishism and nizzle.
So the next day is beach day at the world's ugliest beach. It is.
Oh my God.
This is the same beach they shot.
She's the man on that freaking Canada beach.
Yeah, it's like
this ain't no West Coast sand.
This ain't Destin.
This is that East Coast shit.
Exactly. It's like the sand is brown because it's wet. It's gloomy. It's cloudy, and I know it's cold. Like he's talking about wintertime. Oh, I know it was cold at that beach.
It's evident. This ain't no. What are the oceans?
Mm-hmm.
The different oceans.
Atlantic,
this ain't
Pacific.
This ain't the Pacific. This is the Atlantic. This ain't the Pacific Ocean. This is the Atlantic Ocean for sure.
There we go.
This is Pacific stuff.
Okay.
No, this is Atlantic Ocean stuff.
Oh, okay. Yes. The oceans. So at the beach, it's ugly. The girls are finding a spot. Russ and Heath also
They're like, we have to find the perfect spot. There is no perfect spot on this hideous beach.
Yeah, just get in and get out. So also at the beach is Latrell, who's looking for his girl, Tiffany, and I'm sure other white women. At this point, Kevin somehow snuck away and sneaks into Latrell's hut that Latrell used to change into. And Kevin puts on Latrell's clothes to go flirt with Denise Porta. Before he heads that way, he pays two boys, I think like $5 to come up to him in front of Denise and come up to Denise so that she thinks that he is Latrell, a professional, rich athlete, so that she will be attracted to him.
Because he has money and status and prestige and all these things that, women like.
Mm-hmm. He asks her on a date. She, of course, says yes. Why would you want to date a girl that clearly doesn't like you for who you are?
I just wanted to point out. So when he walks up to, like, the bar that she's sitting at, and he goes up to the bartender, he's like, hey, give me my usual.
Put it on my tab. The bartender is like...
Put it on my tab. The bartender is literally like, what the fuck are you talking about?
The bartender is so
like,
confused.
put it on my tab. Oh, it was so funny.
I was like, what? That could have blown his cover right there.
Literally.
But of course she says yes. But back in the city, wherever city they're in, we're guessing New York. Gina is out with her friend, played by Drew Sidora. And she pays for the lunch, and apparently her card gets declined. And she learns that Marcus bought a $4,000 dress in the Hamptons. Oh. And then she tells the credit card people that she remembers making that purchase. I'd be like,
First of all, my question is, the credit card declines. The waitress comes up and is like, your card got declined for insufficient
funds.
Insufficient funds. Your rep is on the phone. In what world, when your card declined, does the waitress call up the credit card company for you?
I guess and
delivers you the phone? Is like, hey, your rep's on the line.
Yeah.
What?
It doesn't happen. I feel like maybe back in the day they used to happen.
What world are we in?
Yeah. Weird.
It's just like, hey, your card declined. You got another method of payment? I called your credit card company and your rep's on the line for you.
Well, I guess maybe they were trying to see if it's fraudulent, so maybe that's how they did it back in the day before cell phones. I don't know.
It was crazy town.
It's too much. But back in the Hamptons, it's Marcus is getting ready for his date with Latrell, unfortunately, and Kevin is getting ready for his date with Denise, which he claims is a great way, to get more information about the case that we're working on.
Yeah, she's a reporter. If anybody knows anything about the Hamptons, it's her.
She's a Hampton reporter.
And Marcus is like, yeah, sure, that's great, but I don't understand why that means I have to go out with Buffy, the white girl slayer. It's not right.
We have to play your part.
Play your roles.
So, Tiffany Marcus as Tiffany heads downstairs for his date. Latrell is outside ready to pick her up. And Tiffany is trying really hard to, turn Latrell off.
In any means possible.
Yes. She starts by playing the amazing song, 1,000 Miles.
And to Marcus's / Tiffany's surprise, she plays the song thinking that this will, turn Latrell off. And he'd be like, oh, turn this music off.
Don't know why.
But to Marcus's surprise, Latrell actually knows the song word for word.
And loves it.
And is singing along. He knows the inflections of the song. He knows the he has ad-libs to go with it. She says I, he points to his eye. Time, he points to his watch. He knows the song down to the T. This is his jam.
To him is a match made in heaven.
And he's like, you know this song? How'd you know? I love this song.
Great. Amazing.
So they drive off and now they're on their way to dinner.
At dinner, they get out the car and Marcus is surprised to see Kevin there dressed as a valet guy or whatever the hell you call him. And Kevin tells him that he plans to take Latrell's car to drive Denise to Latrell's house. He's being very bold. Not only is he taking Latrell's car, he plans on taking the car back to his house. Why not go to a dinner date?
Right.
Why not go get coffee?
God, literally, right.
He's like, let's go to the house.
He's like, let me not only steal his car, but let me take his keys and also break into his house.
He's really leaning into this. Lean out.
Double misdemeanor.
And he's a cop. What does this mean for the FBI? Jesus, how do you get out of this one?
They're gonna say, what does this mean for the FBI?
So,
he literally is an FBI agent.
He's an FBI agent. He's doing some crazy stuff. Sometimes when I watch cop movies, I'm like, Jesus. This is really bad. Why am I rooting for this terrible cop? So at dinner, Latrell is trying to put the moves on Tiffany. Skirt. But, of course, Marcus as Tiffany, or Tiffany as Marcus. Marcus as Tiffany is not going for it. At one point, Tiffany puts his raw foot on the table, brings his foot to his mouth to pick off a hangnail.
Literally while he's talking. Literally while Latrell is like, I really appreciate a woman with curves and you just have such an ambiance and such a mysterious aura to you while he's literally digging into his toenail.
And this is what oh boy fell in love with? What's his name?
This is what he fell in love with.
That's concerning.
Terry Crews said he fell in love with this behavior.
This was the scene that did it for him.
This is the actions, the mannerisms, all that.
He's like, this is what I need.
That really was this is the turning point for me. I'm in love.
This is what I've been needing. And then Tiffany orders basically the whole menu. When it comes, she eats it disgustingly, no manners, shoving everything in her mouth, laughing and talking with her mouth full of food. It's disgusting. But to her surprise, Latrell's very, very much into it. Back at Latrell's house with Denise, Kevin has arrived he walks to the door. Initially, the housekeeper is like, who the hell is you? But she don't speak English, so she's yelling at him in her language.
She's yelling at them in Mandarin.
Yes.
And then he's like, oh my God, it's Mei Ling. Mei Ling don't never know when to go home. She stay here until 2 o'clock in the morning, just cleaning. He's like, Mei Ling, you gotta go home. They're gonna think I'm running a sweatshop up in here. And then like she's just speaking Mandarin as like swiftly. You can tell it's like, who are you? But in Mandarin. And then he kind of pushes her out of the house.
He was funny for that. He is balls to the walls.
He is. Oh my God. Just so many things. Like, why didn't he think this through? He runs into like so many obstacles. The painting, the dog.
There's a painting of Latrell on his wall because.
And Denise is like, who's that? And then he's like, oh, that's my trainer. Meanwhile, it's the owner of the house. Then we run into like the pit bull.
A very aggressive pit bull.
And then Denise is like, what's that? And he's like, oh, that's no dog. That's family.
Because she's like, you have a dog? Oh, no, girl, I ain't got no dog. Then what's that? Oh, that's not a dog. That's family.
That's family. Wow, he's like, his lip is literally like quivering with fear.
And the dog basically attacks him. Denise is ready to go. She said, I'm tired.
She turns into like full black woman mode at this moment. She's like, you know what? I'm getting the hell out of here. Right. This nigga got a fucking dog. I ain't signed up for this shit. She's like putting on her shawl. She's like, I'm getting out of here. She's like, you know what? I'm leaving. I'm gone.
I'm out. But Kevin somehow is able to lock the freaking dog in the room, and the two are able to have a lovely evening.
After all the obstacles are out of the way.
Yes. And at this point, Kevin is finally able to ask about more information about Ted Burton, who Denise tells him apparently was swindled by Warren Vandergel. But Ted was able to steal millions and stash it away in an offshore account before Warren cheated him out of his money. So basically, Warren Vandergel has no money because he was swindled before he swindled Ted. So at this point, he gets this information. They start kissing, but they're interrupted when Marcus calls them and saying, look, the date's over. Come bring back the car. It's time to go home. So he returns the car, and then back at the hotel. So as that's going on, back at the hotel, we see Gomez and Harper rummaging around Tiffany and Brittany's room. And apparently Gomez felt like something was up with the girls, quote unquote.
He just thinks like something's up with them. They're not right 100%. Something about these girls is off.
Yes.
And Harper's like, well, what are we looking for? And he's like, I don't know.
Keep looking.
Just keep looking.
Boom, bop, bam. Gomez comes out the bathroom with 2 face masks.
Meanwhile, Harper rummaging through their luggage finds a pair of panties.
Poor Harper.
And is like sniffing it. And Gomez is like, wow, you're like really disgusting. Like you're really like a weirdo. And he's like, I'm just sniffing dudes' underwear.
No, girls' underwear.
They make the realization that they're not actually women, that they're men.
Yeah. And he's like, ouch.
Even if it was just women underwear.
Don't be sniffing people's underwear, dude.
That's literally disgusting.
Honestly, it's highly appropriate for an FBI agent to do that. Because at the end of the day, he thought they were real women. You snuck into their room. That's disgusting.
It's just
it's rude.
so many issues.
Like lock him up.
Lock him up.
You can't to go in someone's room and smell the underwear.
That's so disgusting.
It's violating. Yeah. So after
you're a pervert.
Yeah. Terrible. So after dinner, they're off to the club. Latrell brings Tiffany to the club where she meets up with her sister, quote unquote, and her friends. So
that's after they go to dinner?
Yes, after they go to dinner.
I did not know
right.
that.
They have a big night.
So after
he
finishes his date with Denise, he puts that shit back on and they go to the club.
Yes. To meet up with them. So Latrell runs into Russ at one point, and Latrell's basically complaining about how Tiffany is not putting out, she's not feeling him, blah, 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 blah. And Russ is like, I got the drug for you.
He's like, oh yeah, just slip one of these in her drink. He says it like so casual. He's like, yeah, just slip this into her drink. And then Latrell's like, is it gonna work? And he's like, dude, I already took one and I am boinking someone tonight.
He's disgusting.
What a frat boy.
Date rape!
Date rape.
It's so messed. It's just crazy how easily they just did it. I was like,
it's just crazy how they talked about it so casually.
I'm sure that's how they do it in the real world.
He's like, he said it like, he was like, bro, you've never done this before?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have these on hand? Just sneak some Rufalin in her drink, and then that's problem solved.
Oh, jeez, it's terrible. So
crazy times.
He orders 2 cocktails at the bar. He slips some drugs into one of them. He goes back to the table and gives Tiffany the drink with the drugs in it.
But Tiffany, being an FBI agent in reality, is always on alert, and she notices that there is particles and like fizz coming out of her drink, drugs. And she's automatically on notice that he has roofied my drink.
Yeah, he's on.
So Tiffany swaps out the drinks.
Yes, Tiff.
Marcus.
Yes, and at this point, she takes a little bit of her drink, and her girls head to the dance floor.
This is my song. Oh my god.
Yes.
Let's go party.
So on the dance floor, Kevin updates Marcus about finding out that Ted Burton was able to steal $100 million from Mr. Vandergeld.
And has been living large ever since he got out of jail.
Motive for Vandergeld.
So now they realize, okay, well, there goes motive. Motive is out the window for Ted Burton. And now we have all the motive in the world for Vandergeld.
No money.
Because he broke.
Broke as a joke. So Karen is dancing sexy with Lisa on the dance floor to try to get Heath's attention because that's all she cares about. And at this point, the Vandergeld sisters are like, not this hoe.
Do those skanks think they're hot?
Let's show them what hot is. And the two of them, they get on the bar.
They make their way to the dance floor.
But first they get on the bar and they start dancing. And they are getting everyone's attention. They're like, okay, this is working out. And then
let's be real. They're the hot ones of the movie. Out of all
honestly, I really love their outfits in this scene. I think it's so cute. Oh my goodness,
absolutely.
The red and the blue.
The blue outfit.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Chef's kiss. Yes. I want to say which one's which. Do you know?
Heather is the one dating Heath, and what's the other girl's name?
Megan.
Yes, Megan
is stunning.
Yes, she's the girl from the game.
She is. That Bob. She's been working that Bob for years.
Yes,
and it's always looked great on her. Long. She's a twin.
No, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Did not know. Do you know her twin? Is her twin an actor too?
Probably.
I did not know she was a twin.
Yeah, she's a twin.
Interesting. Twins are weird.
Aren't they? But yeah, she's a twin.
Unless you're a twin. All right. I love you, twins. But yes, dance off. At this point, after they dance on, the little shimmy on the bar, they're like, it's time for the real deal. So Vandergels and her girls and Karen and her girls, they head to the dance floor for a little dance off. We busting moves, dropping it low, we hitting the flow, we doing back and forth thing. And in the end, the Vandergirls come out winning. Until
I was like, we have a great dance number.
Yes.
And then just when the Vandergels think that they've won, they beat Karen, they beat Tori, they've beat Lisa, emerges Tiffany and Brittany, and they're like, I know you skanks don't think this is over.
Yes.
And then they're like, let's kick it old school. Then we hear, I was about to say Ice Ice Baby, but it's not Ice Ice Baby. Was it? Rhyme.
Right. It's some kind
of... Yes,
that song.
And then they break out into, they take it to like street style beatbox.
90s.
Crump. Not crump.
This is hip hop.
This is hip hop.
This is hip hop. Dance.
That's what they're giving us. This is hip hop.
Circling on there.
But like real hip hop. They're doing the worm. They're doing like they're spinning on their heads. They're doing they did a freaking walk-in tuck off each other's hands. They're doing like acro moves. They're doing it all. They bring out the whole 9 yards. And they eat these bitches up
to the ground, and the Vandergirls have lost this battle.
And the Wilson sisters have won. Woo! You know what really annoys me? Karen's is like, oh my God, we won. Karen, sweetheart.
Hey, that's my crew.
You actually lost. You actually did not win.
You actually calm down.
Calm down. The Vandergirls won the first round, and then the Wilsons came back and won the battle. But you, sweetheart, you didn't win anything. Yeah. You weren't involved in this win.
I mean, she started it off, but yeah.
And then she's like, after they won, she's like, Heath! Shut up.
Why you thought he was gonna come to you,
Like,
girl?
what? You didn't even win the battle. You didn't even win this. So why did you think this was gonna win his attention? Because you technically lost. The Wilson sisters won, but you lost.
Yeah.
Give it up.
Leave Heath alone, girl. He's not even that cute.
When Heath doesn't come running, she's like, I need a drink.
Oh. So she's drunk, heartbroken, and she heads to the bathroom to,
vomit.
Throw up. So Tiffany, Brittany, Kevin, and Marcus follow her in there, and they are elated to hear Karen, spill some tea. So we learn that Warren Vandergeld is actually penniless, nothing, nada, broke, and he has been taking loans from Karen's father to even keep their house,
to stay afloat. Her father had to ask my father for money just so they could keep their house.
Huh.
So this confirms to, because they're all in the bathroom, the whole crew. So this confirms to Marcus and Kevin that Vandergeld is in fact broke and has no money.
And has to be behind all these kidnappings. Honestly, I guess she's so nice, because if I found out your dad was poor, that's all I'm saying. Shut your broke ass up with your broke daddy.
With your broke daddy.
With your broke dad.
With your broke self.
That's all I'm saying. So, crazy night. It's the end. The next morning, little tidbit, Latrell having he had a great time. He was on the dance floor with his glow sticks, turning up. He was drugged by himself, basically. He wakes up in the bed with Russ.
What a unsuspected turn of events.
What did y'all take that you didn't know y'all were? What was going on, guys?
I wonder what they, in the grand scheme of things, I wonder what they actually did.
Probably just fell asleep, I'm hoping.
I would hope so. Because there's no way you're
that messed up.
Yeah. There's no way.
Yeah, that you were both into this, but okay.
But they wake up next to each other. They scream in horror.
That's what y'all get for trying to date rape.
That's karma. That's what happens.
Instant karma.
You want to do clownery? The clown comes back to bite.
Speak on it. Thank you.
See, when you do clownery, the clown comes back to bite.
There you go.
So, at another hotel, the real Wilson sisters
there you go.
are reading the local newspaper. And they see an article about themselves busting it up and killing it on the dance floor at the Hamptons nightclub. And the real Brittany shows it to the real Tiffany, and they're like, Tiffany, oh my God, look, we're on the cover of the newspaper.
We're on page 6.
And the Wilson sisters, the article reads, the Wilson sisters kill it at Hamptons nightclub. And they're like all excited. They're like, oh my God, we're so cool, we're so popular. And they're like, but Brittany, we were in the Hamptons. Oh my God, we've been cloned. Is the realization they make.
Not clone, y'all.
Cloned.
Do y'all know something we don't know? Cloned. So, they're concerned. So, back in the Hampton, Gina and her friend, Drew Sidora, have arrived to, try to out Marcus for the cheating liar that he is. They arrive, they see him, in the window, and they're like, bet, that's where he at.
They arrive at the hotel.
At the hotel. They see him in the window. They're like, oh, there he at, right there. So they head up to his room. They knock on the door. Gina goes, Marcus! Gina goes in, and she's looking for the girl. Before Marcus let him in, Kevin cleaned up a little bit, is hiding, they don't want to get caught. Why can't you just tell the truth? I don't know. The truth will set you free, Gina's looking for the girl, but she can't find her. At this point, she's
looking for the so-called mistress.
She apologizes. She doesn't find her. She apologizes. I'm sorry, I'm going crazy. You haven't answered my phone calls, address. But boom, bop, bam. Kevin tries to sneak out the front door. Gina's friend's out there. Gina, she right here. Gina girl. So they're busted. Gina's like, I knew you was cheating. I'm done with you. And then before they leave,
Marcus is like, Gina, you don't understand. Baby, it's a man.
Oh, you're sick.
And Gina's like, you're sick.
Why would you just work it out? Sir, you need to say this is this is my brother. Which is,
like literally all you had to say was like, Gina, it's Kevin.
Yeah, I'm
Kevin,
undercover.
take off the mask.
Come back.
It was that simple.
Yeah, it was that simple, but men. So, at this point, while that's going on, the real Brittany and Tiffany arrive at the hotel in the Hamptons. And before they can really get in there, they're stopped by Gomez and Harper, who have also concluded that the Wilsons are being impersonated by two men, and their plans to expose them to the chief.
So Gomez and Harper think they run into the fake Wilson sisters, but they're really running into the real Wilson sisters. And they grab them, bring them into like the back that is disguised as like the FBI headquarters, their little workroom. And they try to present the ladies to the chief. And it's basically like, the chief's like, what are you doing with the Wilson sisters? And they're like, Chief, this isn't the real Wilson sisters. And they're like, take a look at this. And they expose Tiffany's breasts. And they're like, okay.
You can make this.
I don't know why these look like real breasts. But they continue to try to prove that these are the fake Wilson sisters. And Harper exposes Brittany's
vagina?
her genitals
he
and was like, you can't fake these. And then, we see real female body parts.
Yeah, and she punches him in the face, rightfully so. So at this point, the chief realizes what's going on. I believe Harper and Gomez are suspended, and the chief goes up to the room where Marcus and Kevin are, and they're caught, and he fires them. Marcus and Kevin tried to tell him the whole truth about the whole Ted thing, but the chief is not hearing it. He's like, we have our man. It's Ted. It's not Vandergeld. Get on out of here. Out my face. So Marcus is like, no, Kevin is like, okay, we can do this. We can keep this going. Marcus is done. I lost my wife. I lost my job. I look like an idiot. All you do is care about yourself. You're the reason that got me in this situation. I'm done with this, and I'm done with you. Cut to Mr. Vandergeld is in his little office. He's excited to see or hear that the FBI is off his case. They're really going the Ted direction. And the camera pans to the person he's talking to, which is Heath. So basically, Heath knows everything about the kidnapping.
Heath is a villain.
He's a villain.
We already knew he was a villain.
Yeah.
But he's like a real villain.
Yeah,
he's a criminal now, too.
This is the big deal, the big business deal that he had with Mr. Vandergeld that he was talking about earlier. Kidnapping people. Why would you entrust him? I thought y'all was supposed to be doing stockbrokers and playing with the lotto. I don't know.
First of all, Heath is an actor.
Huh?
Heath is an actor.
He is an actor.
That's his job. He's an actor.
There's no way he's not rich, right? He has to come from rich people.
Yeah, he's got to. Yeah, probably. That's probably why he's an actor.
Yeah.
That's why he can afford to be an actor.
Right.
And still party in the Hamptons.
He is an actor, which is like a random tidbit. Anywho. But apparently, their plan is on. They plan to do their kidnapping tonight at the all-white party. So Marcus and Kevin are driving away from the Hamptons, ready to head home, sadly. At this point, Kevin takes the time to apologize to Marcus about everything. He says, you're right. I've been in my head. I didn't think about the situation. I'm sorry.
I was being selfish.
Yes. And then at this point, Kevin receives a call from their go-to friend, Josh, the man himself, who says that, hey, there was Mr. Vandergeld's fingerprints all up on these ransom notes. Clearly he's our guy. And Kevin's like, okay, let me go ahead and call the chief. And at this point, Marcus is like, what you doing? He takes the phone. He's like, you're not calling the chief. We're going to do this
on our own.
The way we started out, on our own.
And then Kevin's like, what about backup? And he's like, you're my backup and I'm your backup. That's all the backup we need. Let's do this. Let's get it done. So now Marcus, he's back into it. He's ready to get in action. He's back into the swing of things.
Triple T-K-A. Time to totally kick ass. Miss these type of movies, man. Such a good movie. And I know they said like we're each other's backup, but they eventually call Harper and Gomez for help as backup.
Right.
And we see Harper and Gomez at a bar drinking their sorrows away because they got in trouble. And the brothers call them, explain everything to them. And Harper and Gomez are basically like, okay, great. Let's get our jobs back. Let's help dust this backup. This is their backup. Okay. You do need backup.
So Marcus and Kevin, they pull up at the all-white party, right? They're back in their disguise as the Wilson sisters. They're looking for Mr. Vandergeld, who they believe is gonna like try and kidnap them throughout the night. So Tori comes up to them and is basically like, because Tori's a publicist, by the way.
All right.
Tori comes up to them and she's like, oh my God, y'all, I got you into the fashion show. Thank me later. You're welcome.
Girl, you ain't got time for this.
And they're like, oh, what? Fashion show? Okay. And then backstage, so the fashion designer for the show, he's talking to the Vandergelds. And he's basically telling them that they will not be walking in his runway and that the Wilson sisters are replacing them. And they're like, we have been walking in this show for 5 years straight. And
he's like, I'm sorry.
He's like, y'all aren't in right now, and they're hot, you're not. What do you want me to say? And then Megan is like, who do we have to screw to get into the show? And then the fashion designer is like, sweetheart, you are totally
barking up the wrong tree.
Totally barking up the wrong tree right now. Why did she think that was gonna work? Look at the man that you're speaking to.
I mean, I guess it's like the money, status, and then sex. This is like my top 3.
But it's like, at what point did you think this man that you were speaking with was straight?
You can't knock it if you don't try.
He's wearing pink.
Right.
Be for real.
She's not used to know. She's discombobulated.
Idiot. So
now he's wearing pink.
He's wearing pink. Like, come on. The Wilson sisters, they go backstage, they get their little outfits on. Before the show, however, is about to start, we see Gina and her friends sneak into the party. They crawl through under the tent, and they're not wearing white.
They're not
wearing all-white party.
At the very least,
Drew has on like a denim jacket and jeans, and then Gina has on like a pink top and jeans.
I'll throw up. I was like, I can't even do this because I'm wearing white. I'm not even wearing white.
I really could not. They were bold because they got in. They were like, I don't give a fuck.
Right. They were like, let's just chill out. Let's just blend in. Y'all not wearing white.
People are walking past them. They're like, where's their invitation? She's like, what invitation?
I will punch you. Also backstage, Heath. Oh no, Karen takes this moment to have a little side talk with Heath.
Yes. So Karen runs into Heath backstage and she's like, okay, this is it. This is the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get him and I'm going to win him over. So she goes up to Heath and she's like, hey, Heath. And does she say anything or does he speak first?
I think he speaks first, actually.
So, yeah. Oh, no. So Heath pulls her aside.
He pulls her,
So Karen pulls
Heath
pulls Karen aside and she's like, oh my God, this is it. This is the moment. He's going to confess his love to me and marry me, whatever. And Heath is like, hey, I really just want you to know, I think you're really great. You're really special. I really want you to come over later tonight if you're not busy, around like 2, 3 a.m.
Make it 3 a.m.
Tops.
Punch in the face.
Does that work for you? He asked her to come over at 2.
No,
Make
3.
it 3.
You know what? Make it 3
a.m.
What you doing at 3?
What? Not even like midnight?
But also he mentions Heather is leaving after the party. Come on over. That's the part that gets me.
Oh, he says her name.
He says Heather is not. She's leaving the Hamptons tonight, so you can come over now. That's what gags me. Not you mentioned her name. Not you said my main is gone. You can come over with your broke ass.
And Karen is like. Finally, she comes to her senses. She realizes, and she's like, Heath, I'm not some booty call. I'm not your doormat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm better than this.
Special.
She's like, I deserve to be treated better than this. I'm special. She's like, I'm not your doormat. And she's like, so no, I won't be coming over.
Thank you.
And then Heath replies to her, sweetheart, what makes you think you're that special?
And
he gives her like one of these, like a
lightly like punches her in the
nudges
chin.
her chin with his fist and is like,
now that
like all right, kiddo. Like
now that I think I'd have swung on him.
I'd have spit in his face.
Ooh.
Whoa.
The nerve of him to touch me.
So Marcus sees this exchange and pulls Heath aside and is like, hey, Heath! Punches him.
Thank God.
Right to the floor.
Thank
and
you.
Heath gets up and he's like, you're going to regret that. And then Marcus says something like, I don't know.
There's only 30 minutes left in the movie. I won't.
Yeah.
And Marcus and Karen have a heart-to-heart. He's like,
Are you gay?
Are you gay? But he's also proud of her. Okay. So while that's going on, the real Wilson sisters have arrived, and they also head to the back, excited to be in the fashion show. The designer is confused. He's like, didn't we do this already?
Didn't I just talk to y'all already?
He's like, well, whatever. I'm stressed. Go ahead and get dressed.
Please get the Wilson sisters backstage to their fitting rooms now,
Exactly.
please.
So it's time for the show. On the walk the runway. Marcus
to the runway. Run. Bring it to the runway. Runway.
So Marcus and Kevin, dressed as Tiffany and Brittany, walk the runway. Serving looks, people are loving, the crowd's going crazy.
They're gooped and gagged.
They walk out. Right after them, the real Winston sisters take the runway.
Who?
The real Winston.
Wilson.
The real Winston sisters.
Wilson.
The real Winsons.
Wilson.
The real Winsons. I can't say it right now.
Why are you saying Winston?
It's whatever.
Wilsons.
There we go. The real sisters take the runway, and everyone still thinks they're fabulous, but they're also like, wow, they changed really fast. That's amazing. Oh my God, they're talented. Is it part of the show? It's not. So they're going back and forth, walking the runway. At one point, the fake Tiffany and the real Tiffany walk out at the same time. The real Tiffany is trying to look at the fake Tiffany and be like, don't we look alike? Clearly. At this point, everyone should...
And then everyone in the audience is like, huh? Everyone's like, why do they look the same, but one looks like a man, but then one looks more feminine?
I wish it was like that. They probably just was like, why did they look... she has a twin?
Wait, did you take it as... Okay, so you think it's the real Tiffany and the fake Tiffany taking the stage? Because I think it's the fake Tiffany and the real Brittany taking the stage. And Brittany's like, you're not my sister.
That works too. Whatever. One of them.
Something's not adding up.
Yeah, she's confused.
Here.
She's like, that's
They're
not...
seeing it, and the audience is seeing it as well.
They're confused. Everyone's like, what?
And then, so, while this is happening, the Vandergels are very upset that they weren't able to walk the show. And they've come up with their own petty little plan on the side. And they have decided that they're going to ruin the fashion show. They've decided that at some point throughout the evening, they are going to foil the costume, not the costume. The looks, designs. The fashions, the designs that are being showcased with this hideous little swan costume that they've stuffed into the Wilsons' dressing rooms.
Terrible.
And that they are also going to go upstage and spray paint on everybody on the runway. So this is their plan that they've devised in the matter of 15 minutes.
Yes.
Where did they get the paint? Where did they get these swan feathered outfit dresses? I don't know, because they just came up with it. But somehow this is what the Vandergels
have the supplies
in 5 minutes.
But as that's going on, chaos is ensuing on the runway. People are falling over because the real Wilson sisters and the fake Wilson sisters are up there. They're knocking people over.
They're knocking people over because they're trying to figure out why does this girl look like me, but she's not me, and she's not my sister, and
it's craziness.
So,
and then chaos ensues. So as that's happening, the Vandergels sisters are getting ready to pour the paint on them, and Karen, Lisa, and Tori notice that they're up to no good. Karen, fed up, she's like, you know what? Someone needs to show them that they can't just get away with anything. They're on they call it a scaffolding, and she pulls some kind of a wire that knocks them off of the little thing, and they fall into the catwalk, and then the red paint falls on them and on everybody that's standing near them, and they're very upset.
The show was ultimately ruined.
It was ruined. But the people in the audience thought it was magic.
But then, so the Vandergel sisters are covered in red paint. The paint also splattered on a couple of people in the front row. So the show is ultimately taking a turn for the worse.
Yes.
But someone gets up in the crowd because, art and art forms. They're like, oh my goodness, so bold, so revolutionary, so exquisite.
Love it.
And he eats it up, which makes group think phenomenon. Now everybody's like, oh my God, he thinks it's great. Now we all have to think it's great. So everybody's clapping. It's like, oh my God, yay, beautiful red paint everywhere and chaos.
Revolutionary.
Great. But the Vandergel sisters don't take it as that. They just take it as the fact that they've been covered in red paint and now they're pissed and they run off in tears.
Yes.
While this goes on and the fashion show is kind of over, Mr. Vandergel just cue the lights.
Yes.
And he talks through his sleeve and tells someone to cut the lights. And then when that happens, emerges, this was also very random.
What was the theme of the night?
What is this? chaos.
a Japanese dragon.
Yeah, so he says cue the lights, and then out of nowhere,
Chinese New Year's.
Yeah, the Chinese New Year little dragon with the like sticks and then like moves with the trail comes out, and then like there's like Japanese men hopping up everywhere. And they somehow, the little Japanese dragon that like flows like a river, like entraps one of the Britneys,
Brittany and Tiffany,
the real Brittany,
yeah,
and like the fake Tiffany or something. And the real Brittany is calling out for like the real Tiffany is like, Tiffany, where'd you go? Yes. Tiffany. Oh my God. The way she calls her out her name. Or no, she says Brittany. She's looking for Brittany. Brittany.
Both of it works.
Okay, anywho. And Kevin he sees Marcus being kidnapped ultimately. So he runs after Marcus. So he's running after Marcus and he's like, Marcus! So he hops from table to table chasing after his brother before he gets kidnapped, and he leaps over and he catches them. So Tiffany and Brittany, the real Tiffany and Brittany are reunited, and then the real Marcus and Kevin are reunited. And he's like, are you okay? Kevin asks Marcus, he's like, no, my G-string is like in my ass. So then
a fight ensues
because the people who were moving the dragon along was Heath and Russ the whole time because they're villains.
Yeah, and Warren hired them to do the kidnapping. And Heath and Russ, they got guns. They whip out guns. They try to shoot each other, and luckily the Copeland brothers are able to keep them down. And at this point, Gomez and Harper pop out of somewhere and apprehend Russ and Heath.
Yes.
And this leaves Kevin and Marcus to go get Mr. Warren Vandergilt. So Warren Vandergilt is trying to get away with the real sister, because as Marcus and Kevin were fighting with Heath and Russ, he took his opportunity to take the real Wilson sisters at gunpoint and tries to sneak them out through the back. But Kevin's able to stop them. At this point, Mr. Warren's wife and his daughters see him, and they're like, what's going on, Dad? At this point, he's fed up.
Daddy, what are you doing?
Heather, why don't you take your mother and your sister and go on home?
Daddy, why are you doing this?
Daddy didn't tell you? He's broke.
What do you mean broke? Like Martha Stewart broke? Or MC Hammer broke?
MC Hammer broke!
No!
So they're upset to hear that they're poor. And he basically says that he's been taking money from the charity to keep them afloat.
Yeah, he's been taking money. He's been skimming money off the charity, kidnapping it
people
to an offshore account just so they could, keep afloat. And they are dirt poor.
Yes, which is crazy. So as he's confessing to this, he, not knowing that Denise and her cameraman are off to the side, they make a little fumble, and he turns to them. He's like, "Are you recording me?" He's like, "I'll give you something to record," and he shoots at her.
Like, "I'll give you something to shoot."
Right, I'll give you something to shoot, and he shoots at her. Kevin hops in front of the bullet, saves Denise.
Saves his girl. And at this point, Marcus pops out of nowhere, and he's like, "I can't let you go, Mr. Warren." And Mr. Warren's like, "I'm going to shoot you." He's about to shoot Marcus when Latrell pops up and hops in front of the bullet, thinking it's Tiffany, because he loves Tiffany. This is hilarious.
It is hilarious. But then Kevin gets back up, shoots Mr. Vanderbilt, and he goes down. He's alive. He just got shot in the chest. Marcus at this point takes the time to thank Latrell, for taking the bullet for him. And he reveals his real identity as a black man. And Latrell is not upset to see that he's a woman, but is very upset to see that he's not actually white.
You telling me that you are not...
Yeah, I'm not a woman.
White? Oh, the deception! The betrayal, man. You deceived me.
Calm down. I'm an FBI agent. I was uncovering a...
Negro, please.
Didn't anybody tell you this was an all-white party? Someone get this jigaboo away from me.
Terrible.
Just
terrible. That's the best part.
But it's just also... when I was doing my research, I mean, this was obvious, but I thought I'd share anyway. Terry Crews was saying, like, he obviously based the character off of, like, his experience with his, like, teammates in the NFL. And he said he'd run into his teammates and they'd be like, oh, you did so good in the movie. And he'd be like, that was, like, based off of, like, y'all niggas. And they're like, no. And he'd be like, yeah.
Yeah.
As y'all were the inspiration. This is how y'all act.
Right. As they surrounded with white women.
Yeah. This is how y'all act around white women.
Right.
This was y'all.
They're like, what? No, I've never not dated a white woman. What are you talking about?
I don't. I've never not loved white women ever in my life.
They said, could you imagine? They're like, this, they not realizing that.
But I based these characters off of you guys.
Yeah. The jigaboo part? Yeah, the jigaboo part is based off of you. I got that actual phrase from you. So at this point, Kevin goes to check on Denise, his lover. He still has his mask on. He hasn't revealed himself. When Gina and her friend attack Kevin, thinking that it's still the girl that's been cheating, that her husband
has been cheating with. On her with.
At this point, Kevin reveals himself, takes off his mask. Everyone's shocked. Denise is shocked to see that Kevin is the one behind the disguise because she's been going on dates with him, and he's actually, he's been pretending to be Brittany.
So it's just a moment of revelation.
Yeah.
Marcus and Gina have a heart-to-heart, and he's like, baby, look, I haven't been there for you. I haven't communicated with you, but one thing's for certain, I have never cheated on you.
Yes.
And he apologizes for all the wrongdoing that he's done, his actions, and he promises that moving forward, he will be a better husband.
Better. Love it. Love it. Black love. And they kiss and they make up.
And then Kevin has his little moment with Denise. And he's like, Denise, I'm not an NBA player. I'm not rich.
Yeah.
I make $30,000 a year after taxes.
FBI agents make way more than that. That's a lie.
It's got to be like 70.
Yeah, that's how.
He's like, I make $30,000. Oh God, after taxes, he makes that $30,000 a year after taxes. He's like, I don't live in a big mansion. I don't have a big house, but I like you. And she's like, any man who's willing to jump in front of a bullet for me is a man who can have my heart.
They don't last. They probably last a month.
I think they probably went the distance. This is a movie, Jordan.
No, he's a liar.
So
no, they didn't last. But they go on a date. I mean, they go on a date, but I'm saying they last a month.
They go on the date.
They go on the date.
How you? First of all, we don't know what happens.
I just told you. I just told you what happened.
Okay, I'm telling you that they get married.
Oh,
they at least make it to year 2.
I don't know. Kevin is. I don't even know he's the marrying type right now in his life. I don't know.
I think he is. I think he's ready to settle down.
I don't know. I feel like every time they're gonna get an argument, and he gonna be like, "You wish I was rich." There's always gonna be something.
Lied to me.
Yeah, it's always gonna be like, we're always gonna bring up this scenario. Why wouldn't you?
I guess. Fair.
So at some point, the chief arrives, and he's upset, but still impressed.
He's like, "You guys caused $20,000 in damages. You ruined this event. We're gonna have to pay this off. Right. But at least you caught the right guy."
Yes.
Thank God.
Right. And the chief reinstates Marcus.
Badges. And they're back in the good graces of the FBI.
Yeah, and they're all going back to work. All the FBI agents.
Yeah, Harper, Gomez. Everybody gets their job back.
Yes. And at one point, we see Latrell walking arm in arm with the real Wilson sisters. And all you hear is, a wheelchair?
Because earlier he said, once you go black, you end up in a wheelchair.
And they seem very excited for that. But
they love that. They love that idea.
So everyone gets a happy,
So
ending.
Kevin and Marcus, they run into Tori and Lisa and Karen. And they're like, basically the girls are like, so y'all were pretending to be Tiffany and Heather.
Brittany.
This whole time. And they were like, yes, we were. And they're like, wow, we liked you guys so much more than them. So much more. And then they kind of like agreed to still hang out and go shopping. And then ultimately, that's how the film ends.
I hope they're still friends.
Oh, I hope they stay BFFs.
I hope they go to like brunch, like, every now and again.
Now, I could let Kevin and Denise not work out. But that friendship between Karen, Tori,
yes,
and Lisa, and Kevin and Marcus, that better stay titty tight.
Yeah, forever. They have to go to like each other's wedding.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. This was a long one, but I hope you enjoyed. I liked this movie. It was fun.
It was a party for sure.
It was a party.
Stay tuned for the next one. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, rate, review, and all the other fun things.
Yes, Lord. Yes. All right, guys. Love you, mean it.
Bye.
Bye.